This game and the stream broadcast rights to this game are the sole and exclusive property of the WPIAL. Any broadcast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of the North Catholic Sports Network audience. Any use, rebroadcast, or distribution of this broadcast without the express written consent of the WPIAL is prohibited.
Trib Live High School Sports Network is the official video and audio streaming partner of the WPIAL. We broadcast over 2,000 sporting events each year and cover 17 sports in over 170 schools. At HSSN, you'll find the latest in high school sports news, live and archive broadcasts, scores, standings, and much more. Trib Live High School Sports Network, your high school sports leader. All season, every season.
And we are coming to you live from the Mars High School football field for this WPIAL quarterfinal matchup between the Keystone Oaks Golden Eagles and the North Catholic Trojans. Hello and welcome inside the stadium and onto the field. My name is Alex Brown.
And I'm Ryan Barron.
And we are your hosts of the Trojan Game Day Show, and we are proud to bring it to you live on the North Catholic Sports Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. As we bring you our pregame coverage from field level here at Mars High School, we will be bringing you in about 15 minutes the start of tonight's matchup between the Golden Eagles and the Trojans. But before we do that, Ryan, let's talk about the seasons each team has had.
Yep, Keystone Oaks is coming into this game 6-5, 3-2 overall. They're on a little bit of roll, but let's look back and see how they got to this point.
Yes.
They had 2 shutout wins to start, but then things started to take a little turn for the worse. They lost their next 5 games, but they had some tough competition. But they got outscored 172-68 in those games. 2 of those teams were Central Valley and Aberworth, who were 2 of the top 3 teams in this conference, Alex. So they had some tough games. Then they got back on roll, won their last 3 regular season games, including a shutout win. So they're playing good, and the 34-0 shutout win in the playoffs also. They're rolling coming in this game, Alex. They're a team of streaks, and they're on a good streak right now.
How about that run? As you said, losing 5 in a row.
Yep.
And then coming back to be in the playoffs in the quarterfinals. What a run.
Yeah, but definitely. I mean, as I mentioned, their team is streak, so they won their first 3, then lost the next 5, and now they're on a roll. So North has got to bring their A game because they've had a tough schedule. They're probably better than the record shows. They're in the toughest division, and North Catholic's got to make sure they're ready to play and take care of business tonight.
Much tougher schedule than North. North comes into this game. They've been dominant all year, and they coasted to a 10-0 undefeated record, winning the 3A Allegheny 7 Conference. Their toughest test was against one of their non-conference opponents, Ryan, and Blackhawk back in week 3.
Yep.
And they came out on top 18-17 on a last-second missed field goal by the Cougars. And what an end to that game.
And that was probably North Catholic's worst performance of the year. The Blackhawks, they probably should beat by a lot more. But Alex, what do you think the keys were to North Catholic in this undefeated conference section? Or on
defense.
Season?
I think it's been their defense. Their defense has been so stout throughout the entire season. It doesn't matter if the offense is having a bad day.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the offense has a bad half. The defense has been there every single game to be able to back them up.
Yep, and it's not just that they're not nothing flashy.
No.
Nothing flashy. Just keep it simple. They stop. Don't get many turnovers, but they're just playing solid defense. Don't let people get yards, get sacks. Just make splash plays like sacks. No turnovers, and they're just playing really, really good football, Alex.
And since that Blackhawk game, they've been lights out. On defense this year, they've had 6 shutouts with giving up an average of only 5 points per game. They've averaged 43 points per game on offense this year as well. Just all-around great performances.
Yeah, they have a lot of playmakers on offense, Alex. They got quarterback Joey Prentice, senior. Yeah, Jack Fennell, Liam Straub has a great year. Kyle Topinski, a Division I commit. They've got a lot of playmakers on offense who can make plays, and that's really contributed to North Catholic's great season so far this year.
It really has. And what do you think we have to look for tonight, Ryan?
Well, it's the playoffs. Anything happens in the playoffs, you throw the records out of the window. These are two good football teams coming head-to-head on a Friday night in November. So it's going to be a tough game. North Carolina's got to bring their A game. They got to play a clean game, Alex. No turnovers, no stupid penalties. I feel like I'm talking about the same thing every week, but that's what you got to do, Alex. And it's the simple things. North Carolina's a better team, but they got to make sure they execute, because a better team can lose a game if they don't execute.
I think another thing they have to do, Ryan, is they got to win the battles at the line of scrimmage. Because if that run game's going, they're in a phenomenal position to succeed each and every game. And if they keep that up, they're going to be in a great position to win this game. And the Trojans are about to come out right behind us in a couple of moments. But before they do come out,
let's look around at the other games that are going to be going on. Central Valley, they're the 1 seed, Alex. They're probably the top dog in the division. They had a nice win, and they're hoping to keep it continue in the playoffs, Alex. Probably the favorite. North Catholic will probably see them at Hines. If North Catholic does make it to the championship, North Catholic's got to take care of minutes. What other teams can you see making an impact in these playoffs, Alex?
Oh, Avonworth, absolutely. Avonworth has been really good this year, really solid. The Trojans played them in their basically a preseason scrimmage before the season started, and that was a tight game in that one. And then they're a really solid team. They always got Elizabeth Ford in there, too.
Elizabeth Ford, maybe they should have been the 3 seed over Avonworth. They won their division. They're having a really good year. They actually knocked off North Catholic last year, so maybe a little bit of good luck for North Catholic being in a separate playoff division as them, so a little bit easier to pass. But who knows? They got to take care of business. They're going to have some tough teams, and it starts tonight against Keystone Oaks.
Absolutely, and that bye week for the Trojans, that could not have come at a better time. You got to rest your players. A lot of players have had nagging injuries throughout the year, Joey Prentice in particular, and then Carson Laconi.
Yeah.
He's dressed for tonight. He looks good in the warm-ups. We'll see if he plays tonight, because that's going to be a big difference in this game if he plays. They missed him this entire year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's just a playmaker. And maybe, he's dressed the last couple of games. He didn't play. Maybe they save him in the playoffs. Who knows if he'll play tonight, but if he does, that'd be a great for the Trojans. There's a lot of things that need to go right for Keystone Oaks to win this game, but North Carolina can't give them any opportunities. They can't turn the ball over early. They just got to start strong right from the beginning, not give them any chance to get any type of movement on the ball. Don't let them drive down the field. Stop them right at the beginning and never look back.
And here come the Trojans out behind us. Get ready for their first taste of playoff action this year, as they're about ready to get out and underway. It's a chilly one tonight, darker than normal, Ryan. It feels like 9 o'clock when it's really only 7 o'clock. It's pitch black out here to start this one, and it's a chilly one too. So don't be surprised that ball has some extra flight underneath it tonight with the wind, as it's been pretty windy today here at field level as we get ready to start this one.
Yeah, but you mentioned that they're coming off the bye week.
Yeah.
That could be a good thing, but also maybe they'd knock off some rest at the beginning of the game. So you got to make sure you're ready to play. Hopefully they have a good week at practice, and if they come out strong, that'll be a good sign for the rest of the game. If they start slow, then maybe they're knocking off a little bit of rust. But it's always tough when you're coming off a week off. But it's good to get the players rested and get ready for the week.
And it starts with special teams too. You got to get the special teams right in this game, and kicks in bounds, kicks through the uprights, good punts, good punt returns, and you're in a great position to win.
Yep, definitely. Special teams is the key. It's been the key all season, and they got to keep it rolling this week. They've been great on special teams. Sometimes the kickoffs have gone a little awry. Sometimes there's a couple extra points, but I think they cleaned it up for time plays. I bet they've been working on that.
And we're going to set up to the booth as we're going to get ready to play our national anthem and the alma mater.
And now the North Catholic alma mater. Catholic alma mater and your North Catholic Trojan marching band.
And we are back. Ryan, let's set it up.
Yep, Alex, this will be North Catholic's last 3A playoffs as we move up to 4A after this year, Alex. So exciting things ahead. Unless North Catholic's got to focus on this game, Alex, they got to go with the bang in the 3A. They got to win the title. They got to keep it going, but it all starts tonight against Keystone Oaks.
Absolutely, got to do the little things right, as we've said all year. The little things right, big things will follow, and they'll win this game tonight. What are your predictions?
I think North Catholic wins. I think it's a little bit tight at first, but I think North Catholic pulls away in the second half. I think North Catholic knocks off a little rust in the first quarter or so, but then gets back on the roll. I think they win this one 45-17.
45-17. I'm going to go 42-14. How about that? We'll see who's right in the end. We'll set it up to the booth. Sean Malone, take it away.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the quarterfinal round of the WPIAL Class 3A football playoffs. We are coming to you live from the Mars Athletic Complex in Mars, PA. Your North Catholic Trojans meet the Keystone Oaks Golden Eagles right here on the North Catholic Sports Network and Trib Live High School Sports Network. Hello, everyone. I'm Sean Malone alongside Ryan Berry and Alex Brown. The Trojans enter this evening's game after a bye last week in the opening round. The number 2 seeded Trojans finished the regular season perfect with a record of 10-0 overall, 6-0 in their conference. The Golden Eagles come in as the 7th seed after finishing the regular season at 6-5 overall and 3-2 in their conference. Last week, they knocked off the 10th seed South Allegheny Gladiators by a score of 34-0 to reach the quarterfinals here tonight. I will be joined by Alex Brown up here in the booth shortly. Unfortunately, my normal partner Darren Lyles couldn't make it, and I know he would have loved to see a playoff game, but I'll be going with Alex tonight. And while we wait for him to get up here, let me just set the scene a little bit for you. As I said, we are at the Mars Athletics Complex. As Ryan and Alex were talking about in the pregame show, it is a little chillier than it has been most of the season tonight, just below 50 degrees, which is actually pretty reasonable for the middle of November. We still have about 5 minutes before game time, and it looks like the stands are filling up. So as a playoff game, this should be one of the louder and more well-attended games. North Catholic has already taken the field, and they're on the sideline closest to the press box, and they're in their home red uniforms with gold numbers and gold pants, and Trojans on their red helmet. And Keystone Oaks is just walking on the field now. Their uniforms are almost all white with black numbers and black helmets as Keystone Oaks runs on the field. So that's visually what it looks like here tonight. And just to set up a little bit about each of the teams, in addition to what I already said, Keystone Oaks advanced with a shutout win last week over the 10th seed, and their senior running back, Kevin Drew, led the Golden Eagles with 163 yards on 20 carries and 2 touchdowns. Looking at Keystone Oaks' roster, Drew is a senior who's 5'10", 225 pounds. So that's a lot of momentum coming at you when he's running. So it should be interesting to watch tonight to see how the Trojans can control Drew. North Catholic, of course, has been off for 2 weeks now since a 63-17 thumping of Deer Lakes, and this is going to be their first playoff action of the year. Both of these teams are looking to get deep into the playoffs and to compete for championships, which is something that neither team has done in quite a while. Keystone Oaks hasn't been to a title game since 1945, since World War II. North Catholic, it still probably feels like a long time, but a lot more recent than 1945. North Catholic's only WPIAL football championship came 8 years ago when the Trojans won the district and state Class A crown in 2013. So now we are just over 2 minutes away from game time. The captains from each team are going to walk out and meet in the center of the field to determine who gets the ball first. And Alex is up here in the booth with me. It's great to be doing a game with you this year, Alex. So Keystone Oaks, they're third in their section. And I heard you and Ryan talking in the pregame that they had a 5-game losing streak in the middle of their season. But looking at their schedule, 3 of those 5 games are against teams that were not in AAA. And then the 4th and the 5th loss in a row came against number 3 seeded Avonworth, 35-0, and number 1 seeded Central Valley, 4-2-0. They have not lost to a AAA team this year. So despite the 5 losses, Keystone Oaks, I would say, is an opponent that you can't take lightly.
Absolutely not. It's a team, as you said, they've had some tough games this season. Really tough schedule this year. They've been coming off a pretty good win streak coming down the stretch here. As we talked about earlier, they had 5 losses in a row in that season. And then from there, they really turned on the Jets. And they're a team that North Catholic cannot take lightly. They had an excellent first playoff matchup last week against South Allegheny. Really impressive matchup. And win against them. And the Golden Eagles are flying high.
I see what you did there. And the teams are on the field to start the kickoff. Darren and I have been impressed all season, really, with the Trojans' defense. But you probably have a different perspective down on the field than we do up here. Just being on field level the whole year, what's been the most impressive thing to you about the defense?
Just their ability to always be on. They're like the offense this year. At some games it's hit or miss, and even when the offense has a bad day, the defense has always been able to pick up the slack for them, and that's been so evident in most of their close games as well. They haven't had many close games, the Trojans have, but when you look back at the Blackhawk game they had earlier this year, when they won 18-17 in that game, the offense was not great in that game, but they ended up pulling that out because of the defense.
And the original kickoff stays in bounds. If you're a Keystone Oaks fan watching this broadcast, North Catholic has kicked it out of bounds a lot this year. So it was nice to keep that in bounds, and Keystone Oaks is going to start at the 22. That was Clinton Robinson on the return for Keystone Oaks. And here is the vaunted Trojan defense taking the field. North Catholic lets up only 5.1 points per game on the season, which is the best in AAA, although there are 3 other teams, actually all top 4 seeds in AAA, let up less than 10 points per game. So when those teams maybe meet in the semifinals, they could be low-scoring affairs, but of course, North Catholic has to get through this game tonight. Keystone Oaks comes out in a shotgun with 4 wide receivers, and their quarterback is going to throw wide, and it's just outside the reach of the person who just returned the kick, Clinton Robinson.
And Keystone Oaks cannot miss those plays as this game goes along. I mean, that throw is just a little too far out in front of the receiver there, and you got to be able to connect on those 5-10-yard gains in this game if you want to compete against North.
It might only have been a 2 or 3 yard gain, but it was going to set up a one-on-one situation
Absolutely,
with the North Catholic defender. So if you do slip that one tackle, that's where it becomes a 10-yard gain. Quarterback Nick Buckley is still in the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. And Prentice on the blitz gets picked up. Buckley throws over the middle.
That's another one.
At that time, the intended receiver was number 19, Alex Samarin. And that was a little bit behind him, but that would have been a first down for the Golden Eagles.
That ball had some sauce on it. That's a nice throw by Buckley. We got to look out for that over the middle. That wakes up the North secondary right there.
Yeah, Buckley last week threw for 116 yards and 1 touchdown, which is a pretty good performance for a high school quarterback. And I have not seen Keystone Oaks leading running back Kevin Drew yet, so he may be out this week, or at least missing the first series. Buckley, I thought that was going to be short, and it looks like it's caught.
I think it's a first down.
Quinn Kenny, a 6'5", 185-pound senior wide receiver for Keystone Oaks, catches it right at the sticks and gets a first down.
Gets to the 35, makes it 1st and 10 for the Golden Eagles.
This is the most I've seen teams try to throw on North Catholic without getting a lot of pressure on their quarterback. The Keystone Oaks line standing up pretty well right now.
They are consumed by the North Catholic defensive line. No chance there.
Yeah, and that was Tyler Primrose. Just went right between the people who were trying to block him and made a quick tackle on the Keystone Oaks running back. So maybe that's why they were going out and passing on every play without Kevin Drew in so far.
He's been their best player this year on the Golden Eagles offense, and that's something that they're going to definitely miss in this game if he's not playing.
Yeah, I think that was Sean Reck, a 5'11", 165 sophomore. Buckley
Look out. Oh,
almost gets hit by Topinski and just throws it away, bringing up another 3rd and 10 for Keystone Oaks. They succeeded the first 3rd and 10, but it's not a good recipe for offensive success if you're going to put yourself in successive 3rd and 10s against this great North Catholic defense.
no, not at all. Not at all. And this secondary has been tested this year at times, but they've really been playing well better as the season has gone on. Throughout the games, they've given up a couple big plays through the secondary. If they give up plays, it's normally through the air. But their run defense has been really impressive this year. So I wouldn't expect to see a lot of runs in this game by the Golden Eagles, especially if their starting running back throughout the year has been out.
Buckley, he's got some time.
He had a guy right
he
there.
throws it short.
Oh, and he was wide open. He was wide open, Sean. That's an easy first down. If that's caught, an easy first down.
So Keystone Oaks gets 1 first down, and now they're going to punt. But certainly they probably would have hoped to get that second one as Sean Reck was wide open in the flat. He had rolled out of the backfield. And Buckley has had a lot of time to throw every single time he's been back there. It's a little bit surprising because Daniel Long and Tyler Primrose on the edges and Lucius Marbella up the middle have just really, really bothered opposing quarterbacks.
They really
this
have.
season.
Giving them no time to throw, no time to think. And when you have no time to think, those throws aren't going to be good half the time. No way. And 12 men on the field. Penalty here on the Golden Eagles.
So the punt will be from 5 yards further back for Keystone Oaks. Liam Straub is back by himself. And again, if you haven't watched North Catholic much this year, it's exciting every time Liam touches the football. And he's got an interesting style of returning. He's not necessarily straightaway speed.
Almost blocked. That one's not going to get far. That one's going to get down to the 50.
46-yard line, so great starting position for North Catholic.
That might be better for Keystone Oaks. You don't want to hit it to Liam all the time.
Yeah, you don't really want to give Liam Straub too much opportunity to return kicks, although maybe Keystone Oaks has a good coverage team. Not having seen them yet this year, we don't know that. So the North Catholic offense takes the field for the first time. North Catholic is averaging 43.3 points per game. Keystone Oaks is giving up 18.6 points per game. North Catholic, 3 wide receivers. Daniel Long in motion. Jack Fennell in the backfield with Prentice. Fennell's going to get it. He's sprinting to his right. And he's got the edge.
That's a first down.
Fennell is going to get a first down and tries to fight for a couple more yards. He's inside the 40-yard line to the 38.
We talk about Jack Fennell being fast all the time. Jack Fennell on the track team last year made it to states as a freshman in the 100 meters. Phenomenal athlete. He can play baseball. He can play football. He can do track. He does it all, and he does it all with his legs. Phenomenal athlete.
Yeah, so 1st and 10 for North Catholic. 1 play, 1 first down. Prentice in the shotgun. And this time he's going to throw it quick to Topinski. Topinski's got some space. He bulls over one person. It's going to take 3 people to bring Kyle Topinski down at the 22-yard line. That was Sean Reck and E.J. Simon on the tackle for Keystone Oaks.
That's a big man that can move. He can move. Oh my goodness. He did track last year too, and he can run like the wind. He made it. He was good in states in the 4x100 relay.
Yeah, so a lot of great athletes.
Oh, look how the
falls on the ground, but Prentice alertly picks it up and throws it to Daniel Long. Long's got a head of steam, and he's tackled on the ankles around the ankles by Clinton Robinson, saving a touchdown. So North Catholic has 3 first down on 3 plays, and the offense is really clicking, isn't it, Alex?
Absolutely. And when you get those, when it works like that, when you make a mistake on the snap, and you still get a first down out of that, that's when you know things are clicking.
Prentice is looking towards us over here on the sideline, getting the play. Liam Straub is way wide to the left. Topinski is in the slot. And in the backfield, I think that is still Jack Fennell. Prentice is looking to throw. He throws it quick to Maziarz. Maziarz is going to try to bull into the end zone.
He's got it.
Does he get there? Yes! Touchdown! North Catholic, Tyler Maziarz, 11-yard touchdown reception. What did you see on that play, Alex?
Well, you could put that one in the books from the start. We saw him on the outside, churning the legs, and he got to the goal line. had 3 guys draped all over him. And he still gets over the line.
Yes.
What a start for the Trojans offense. We talked about them being hit or miss at times. They're hitting today. What a start.
That's a great sign as Marsico puts the PAT up and through. Great sign if you're a North Catholic fan as the Trojans are up 7-0 with 8:48 left in the first quarter. That was an easy 52-yard touchdown drive for the Trojans, and they lead 7-0 in the first quarter. What I really liked about that drive is that we saw a different player on every single play. The first was a run to the right with Jack Fennell, and then there was a throw to Topinski in the slot, and then there was that almost botched play that got to Daniel Long, the tight end, and then the touchdown was Tyler Maziar's. And that's just a great drive from North Catholic.
And that's exactly what makes this offense so good for North, because they have so many different options to utilize with the ball. They have so many different people that they can put in the play to make a play. And that's what makes it a great offense. When you have multiple players, this is not just a one-man team. And we see this on offense and defense. They have so many athletes on both sides of the ball that they have so many guys they can turn to at any given time to make a big play in a big-time situation. And we've seen
Daniel Long boots it away to the 10-yard line. It is
some space. Look out here.
A lot of room down the sideline.
Long's got to get him.
Daniel Long is good job, tandem there by Long and Jason Sickett.
Really
Long
good
was
tackle by
not
Sickett.
giving him the sideline, and Sickett caught up with him when he tried to cut inside. So that was a long return, good return there by Keystone Oaks. Clinton Robinson gets them across midfield, but the combination of Sickett and Long prevents it from being even worse.
Too much room on the near side here. They're at about the 25-yard line. There were 2 guys within 5 yards of them. They couldn't close the gap in time, and that got them the extra 30 yards up the field. That's not a good start on special teams here after the touchdown.
Yeah, the problem on the kickoffs has normally been putting it out of bounds and not kick
we haven't
return
seen that a lot
coverage.
this year. We haven't seen that a lot.
And here's a running play straight up the gut.
Nice tackle.
And that time it is
Big-time tackle.
Tyler Primrose again is just running from his end spot down the line and not letting those running backs cut upfield. It's going to be 2nd and 9 with about 8:20 left in the first quarter.
Gavin Camedy was there on that play too, coming up the middle.
Yeah,
He's been good this year too.
Yeah, sophomore getting playing time, which isn't that usual. Camedy is getting a lot of playing time now, I think, because Keystone Oaks has been using so many receivers. And in the backfield immediately, Robbie Kress.
No time to think on that one. No time to think. And when you get, we talked about this in the pregame show, the battles at the line of scrimmage are going to decide this game. If you win the line of scrimmage in this game, you win the game.
It's interesting to me that North Catholic has so clearly won the line of scrimmage on all 3 running plays. But on the passing plays, Buckley has had plenty of time to throw, and it's been throws that are short or behind his receivers that stalled the first Keystone Oaks drive. You would presume a throw here for 3rd and 10, and let's see if his pass protection can hold up again. Snap. Buckley looking to his left.
Lots of time. Here he comes.
Now he has to sprint out of the pocket. He was pursued by Primrose, and he throws it not near anybody. And Keystone Oaks is either going to punt or go for it. It's a weird spot on the field, the 45-yard line. Let's see what they decide to do. And it looks like they're going to punt.
They're going to punt. After you just saw from the North Catholic offense, and it's being a 4th and 10, it's pretty tough to justify going for it in that situation.
Yeah, they went 45. They went 42 yards in 4 plays. You want to make them
go a little bit
further. And this time, Jack Fennell and Liam Straub are back to receive the kick, which barely got away the first time.
Oh, look out here! It almost got it.
And this time it's Straub. Let's see what he can do. He's running to his right. A nice block.
Nice block.
He cuts it up
Big
the
time
middle.
block.
He's weaving in and out of players.
Another
Straub
block up the
is
field.
Tackled at the 30. He moves so slowly, and yet people never seem to touch him. A great return by Liam Straub. He caught that at about the 10 or just inside the 10, and he took it up to the 30-yard line.
And Gavin Camedy almost ended that play from the start. He almost blocked the punt. It was about maybe a foot shy of blocking that punt.
Yeah, great effort by Camedy on special teams. And the North Catholic offense retakes the field with 7 minutes left, 7:02 to be exact. Prentice is going to be in the shotgun, Fennell to his right, and he's got 2 receivers to his right, and Liam Straub all by himself on the left. Prentice gets the shotgun snap. He holds it to Fennell. Fennell bursts up the middle and is undercut by a Keystone Oaks defender. That is Owen Minford after about an 8 or 9 yard gain out to the 39-yard line.
Really nice run up the middle. Really nice run. Lots of room to run there, too. Met by the second line of attack and the linebackers on that play.
Yeah, that was actually, I think, a safety. If you can see number 16's lining up right at about the M on the 50. So that was even the third line of defense. And this time, Prentice pulls it down, throws to Long. And Long makes the guy miss, and he's got some room. He's inside the 50 and down to about the 40-yard line. Nice move by Daniel Long, and good decision by Joey Prentice to do a quick play action and throw out to Long. And another good play, another first down for the Trojans.
As we said earlier, this offense has so many different weapons that they can utilize at any given time. And Daniel Long is another example of that.
Yeah, this is the most I've seen Long thrown to early on. 2 good plays from Daniel Long. Normally he gets it done with his blocking. Prentice pulls it, and he throws it to Long again.
To Long.
Long inside the 30, and he gets down to about the 20-yard line.
How about the speed? Daniel Long got those legs churning.
And maybe he's a little tired. You're not going to see Daniel Long come off the field that much, as he's the kicker on special teams, great defensive end on defense, and the tight end on offense. But he's going to take a break right now. And North Catholic has 4 different receivers. Topinski, Carson Laconey is on the field. This is the first time I have seen Carson on the field. He's out there with one of the 3 wide receivers on the right side. And Laconey right now is uncovered at the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they're going to give him the ball. They do. Let's see what Laconey can do. And that was a great play by Sean Reck on defense by Keystone Oaks, wasn't it, Alex?
Boy, is it great to see Carson Laconey back in this lineup. We thought he might be back in the pregame show because he looked great on the field during warm-ups, and it's so great to see him back out there because we've known from the before the season started when he broke his collarbone that how much he was itching to get back and playing, and it all depended on how far North was going to be able to take it in this playoffs. And to see him back in the lineup is fantastic a way to cap off his senior season here in the playoffs. Fantastic.
Yeah, so he now has 1 reception on the season for 1 yard. It's 2nd and 9. Prentice is going to keep it himself. Bursts up the middle for a decent gain, setting up a 3rd and manageable, about 3rd and 5 with under 4:30 to go.
And here comes Daniel Long back out of the field.
And the way that the offense has gone, give Daniel Long the ball, run behind Daniel Long, get Daniel Long involved somehow because everything he's touched so far in this first quarter has been gold.
Giving Kyle a lot of space in the line of scrimmage here.
3rd and 5. Prentice gives it to Fennell, and Fennell is met immediately. That is Sean Reck again. And Reck has done a great job. He has been on every, I think, positive play for Keystone Oaks. And there's a Trojan down on the right-hand side of the line there.
It's a lineman.
That looks like number 77, which I believe is Justin Smith. And the training staff is going to go out and take care of Justin Smith. That would be a big loss for North Catholic as he does a nice job on the right-hand side of the line.
He really does.
That's going to set up a 4th and 7 with 3:48 at about the 17, 18-yard line. Put yourself in Coach O'Shea's shoes here, Alex. What do you do? Go for it or kick the field goal?
Well, the offense is staying out about 10 yards away from the sideline right now. I don't know what you do here personally. I think if it was me, I think I'd go for it. I think I'd go for it in this situation. I think you believe in your defense here. I think you could probably make the field goal from here. You could probably make the field goal. But I think you'd have a better opportunity, a better likelihood right now of getting the first down through the air than you might if you're kicking the field goal right now. And I think if you weigh your chances, weigh your opportunities here, I think you go for it. And I think that's what they're going to do right now.
Yeah, I think over 30 yards might be a little bit past the range that Marsico is comfortable with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, better likelihood of them making the first down than probably him making the kick. I think you could make the kick. It's a long kick though. If you from about what is that, the 17, about 35-yard kick, it'd be a tough kick.
But North Catholic is going to go for it, and they've got 4 wide receivers and then Daniel Long in as tight end. Prentice gets the snap, looking to throw. He's going to be pressured. He pulls it down. He eludes one guy. He's backpedaling. Chucks it into the end zone. Fennell's wide open for a touchdown. Jack Fennell from Joey Prentice.
Flag on the play. Flag on the play. Was it?
I did not see the flag.
Oh,
Good
my.
eye, Alex. Let's see what. Did they say what the call was?
I think it might have been an illegal man downfield.
And that normally means, right, that a lineman has gone further downfield than they are supposed to.
How about the patience by Joey Prentice? How about the patience? And then Jack Fennell finding a way open in the back of the end zone. All for nothing, though.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. It's going to be 4th and 12 with the ball on the 22-yard line. North Catholic is still going to go for it. I mean, you can't punt from the 22-yard line, but this is going to be a little bit harder. I thought Prentice was just like throwing a jump ball there, but he must have seen Fennell in the back of the end zone. Let's hope something good can happen again. Prentice is going against a 3-man rush. He's being pursued, but he's got the corner. And before he goes out of bounds, he flings it to I can't see who that was. What a play from Joey Prentice.
Is that
I think
Straub?
it was Straub, yeah.
That's Straub on that side. What a throw by Joey Prentice. Watch this one be called back. And it's the same thing. It's an illegal man downfield for the Trojans.
So what do you think is happening with those illegal man downfields penalties?
Well, when he goes out of the pocket like that, I don't know that the linemen quite know what he's going to do. Is he going to run it there? That time it kind of looked like he might have run it because he went way out there and he threw it at the last second. But that lineman cannot be so far down the field like that. I don't believe they can go 5 yards past the line of scrimmage in a situation like that. Obviously, just a little too far. That can't happen.
So two unfortunate penalties.
Two fantastic plays.
Yeah, let's see what if Prentice has any more magic cooked up on this play, as it's now 4th and 17, and that's a pretty daunting amount of yardage. Prentice has got a 3-man rush. He throws it over the middle, and Straub is wide open, and he's right at the marker. Is it a first down, Alex?
First down it is. He's at the 9-yard line.
That play was pedestrian by comparison to the first two. That was just a simple snap in the shotgun. Straub got open right away over the middle, and he got a first down. Sets up North Catholic at the 8-9 line, 1st and goal. Prentice hands it off to Fennell. Fennell makes a cut, puts his foot in the ground, and darts forward to about the 5-yard line. What a wacky series of plays, Alex.
How about the resiliency of this offense? They get knocked back down twice. 2 big plays twice, and they kept on going.
And Justin Smith is back in the game, and the person who was running off the field is going to run right back on. And it looks like North Catholic is going to go with a heavy package here, bringing in, I think, 3 tight ends.
And they're going to call a timeout.
They're going to call a timeout so they can get the right personnel on the field.
They weren't sure about the personnel there.
So timeout with 2:03 left in the first quarter. And North Catholic is leading 7-0. During this timeout, we'd like to remind you that whether you need a business headshot, family portrait, or you just want to remember that toothless grin of your 6-year-old, Dina Koenig Photography is at your service. Dina specializes in capturing the beauty of your family and creating customized wall art to decorate your home. Dina Koenig Photography is the official photographer of North Catholic Athletics. What has impressed you the most about the North Catholic offense so far, Alex?
It has to be the play of the quarterback, Joey Prentice. He's been very good, very solid. Looking downfield, He's looking for plays downfield. He's not trying to do it all himself. He's waiting for people to get open and do the work for him. And he's been really, really good to start this game. And in certain games this year, the offense has gotten off to a slow start in a lot of these games actually this year. But this offense today is ready to go. Probably the best I've seen them play in the first quarter of this season.
And here's something that North Catholic introduced in the second half of the regular season that you would almost never see. Prentice is under center. Topinski is 5 yards behind him, and Topinski's going to get the ball, and he makes one person miss. He's trying to sprint to the outside. Nobody can tackle Topinski, but they finally get him. He was going to be tackled 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, right behind the center, and he was able to bounce it outside, but he still got pushed back to about the 7-yard line. So it's 3rd and goal. Make that the 8-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 8 for North Catholic, and they're going to go back to their traditional shotgun offense. Fennell in the backfield. Topinski, Straub, and Maziarz out to the right. Prentice in the shotgun. He gets the ball. He pitches it to Fennell. Fennell's got to sprint to the corner. Can he get there? Yes, he can. Touchdown, Jack Fennell. 8-yard run.
No chance. You don't test Jack Fennell's speed like that. Too easy for him. The man is the Flash in the flesh. I'm serious. He's the Flash in real life. This is insane how fast he is.
Yeah, we could see that there was a lane to the pylon. It was just a question of whether he was going to get there. And he was untouched to the corner of the end zone. Great speed from Jack Fennell. Point after from Marsico is good. North Catholic leads 14-0 with 1:15 to go in the first quarter.
The resiliency of the offense on that drive, John, very impressive.
Yeah, this is the best that I've seen the offense look all season for North Catholic. If you haven't watched this team a lot this year, North Catholic has put up a ton of points, but I think that's a little bit misleading because the offense has struggled at times with miscues, bad shotgun snaps, a lot of penalties, turnovers, and the best the offense had looked this season before this game was against Derry in the last game of the season, which was a 67-13 win. And I wrote that off because Derry had a really tough year this year, and that was not a good football team. So I didn't know if that was actually indicative of the offense moving forward or if that was just him beating down on a really bad team. And so far in this game, that performance against Derry was actually the offense really improving as the kick is picked up by number 16.
Same thing as
and
the last time.
He's got
Daniel
a lot of room.
Long's
Daniel Long's the last person, and Long brings
what
it
a
down.
tackle! What a tackle by Daniel Long at the 35.
Normally, your kicker is not somebody that you want to be the last person to make the tackle, but Daniel Long is a great defender.
With him. He stayed with him there. How about that play? I mean, that's unexcusable to give up that kind of yardage. Gave up a lot. Gave up 35 yards on that return as he caught it about the 20-yard line.
And North Catholic may want to return to just kicking it out of bounds.
I mean, how about that tackle? Wow.
So Buckley is in the shotgun.
Limited him to a field goal here, at least.
And there's Keystone Oaks' running back is in. That was his first play, but they didn't give it to him. They threw it immediately to the outside to Alex Samarin for a 5-yard gain. Make that a 6-yard gain, and it's going to be 2nd and 4 just inside the 30-yard line. You can see number 15 for Keystone Oaks is in the game, Kevin Drew. They're 5'10", 225-pound running back. That's a big running back.
This is a big team. This is a big Keystone Oaks offense. Samarin himself, the tight end, 6'2", 185. Some big guys on this offense.
And there's Drew. He gets the ball. And good Robbie Kress got his legs. And then Seamus Straub, it looked like, came in and finished him off. So good penetration into the backfield from the Trojan defense, not allowing Drew to get motoring. And it looks like
Drew's a little bit of a limp. As you see him go over the side, maybe a little bit of a limp there.
Yeah, I don't know why he sat out the first 2 series, whether that's a a discipline thing, an injury thing. Maybe he saw that the running attack wasn't doing good. He was like, Coach, you got to put me in the game. But that does it for the first quarter here, right? And we are going to go down to the field to Ryan Berry for an update about North Catholic athletics.
This past Wednesday marked the opening of the National Letter of Intent signing phase for most NCAA athletics. 6 students signed on this date for North Catholic. Congratulations to Jaden Sharpless on committing to Georgia State University for girls soccer, Trevor Pascal for committing to the University of North Carolina for track and field, Nicholas Scheller for committing to Belmont Abbey College for boys tennis, Abby Sutton committing to Chowan University for softball, Ben Capozzi committing to Queen's University of Charlotte for triathlon, and Patrick Sinan committing to the University of Pittsburgh Radford for baseball. Congratulations to all North Catholic athletes.
And thank you, Ryan, for telling us about those athletes who had their letter of intent signing earlier this week. That was pretty exciting. Nobody from the football team has signed their letter yet, but I'm sure we're going to see a couple people. I know Kyle Topinski has multiple D1 offers, and Lucius Marbella a little frustrated there as he jumped off sides, and that's a costly penalty here at the start of the second quarter, Alex.
Yeah, and that's something we talked about in the pregame show. Is penalties? They've gotten better with penalties as the year's going on. But they've also played, you could say, some lesser talented opponents as the year's going on as well. But penalties earlier in the year were a big problem for the Trojans.
And not necessarily on defense. It seemed to me like it was more on
holding, more on offense.
Yeah. And then that was the defense with a crucial penalty as the offside for Lucius Marbella allows Keystone Oaks to get a first down, and they are knocking on the door here about the 23-yard line. Keystone Oaks with multiple tight ends in there, and this time it is Rec again, and he's going to be met pretty quickly for a 2 or 3 yard gain.
Boy, can Tyler Primrose play. He can do it all.
Yeah,
and what a leader he is on that team too. Big time leader on this team.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll be playing somewhere next fall in college. Certainly, I'd be interested.
There's a lot of teams that would want him. I get.
And he's got a good pedigree too. His brother, it's at Sacred Heart, I believe. He's played a similar D-end position for the Trojans. Buckley is in the shotgun. Multiple tight ends again for Keystone Oaks. And he gets the snap. He's going to do like a naked bootleg, tosses it out to his fullback, and his fullback is brought down by Maziarz. High tackle there, but no flag coming in. That was competed to Ryan Healy.
I'm surprised they didn't call horse collar. I really am. He got one arm around the neck. Not the neck, but I should say the back pad, and dragged him down, but we'll take that.
So Keystone Oaks needs to get to the 13-yard line. They're on the 17 right now. That's a 3rd and 4. Just under about 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second quarter. Keystone Oaks, you figure this is 4-down territory for them unless they've got a really good kicker. But why kick a field goal when you're already down by 2 touchdowns? Buckley in a short shotgun, only 3 yards behind the center. He's got 3 receivers. And Rec is in the backfield with him. Prentice is free on the outside. Kyle Topinski flexing after he bats that pass down.
If he waited another second, he was going to get clocked by Joey Prentice. Had to get rid of that ball. 4th and 4 now, and in a game like this, you got to be able to take risks. Win or go home. If you don't take risks, you're not going to win this football game. So they got to take a risk here and go for it.
Another player returning this week, Alex, is Chase Arrington. Is out there. I think he's been walking around at school with a boot for a while.
Yes.
But he's out there, and he makes a difference as a cornerback. He is a great cornerback.
He really is. He has a lot of speed, too, and he has some good size to him, too. Very athletic player, and the Trojans are lucky to have.
4th and 4, Buckley, slant, and it's completed to number 83, Quinn Kenny, for the touchdown. An 18-yard touchdown for Keystone Oaks, and there is no flags on the field, so that's going to stand a touchdown at 10:08 of the second quarter.
2 words: body positioning. He got better body positioning on Carson Laconey on that play, and was able to use that to grab that catch and make the rest of his way in to the end zone. And that's one that should wake up the North Catholic defense too.
So Quinn Kenny, an 18-yard touchdown from Nick Buckley. And
Quinn Kenny, he's 6'5". 6'5". We talked about size for this Keystone Oaks offense. He's 6'5".
Yeah, that was it looked like he was thrown right into the coverage, but Kenny, he's a big player. He was able maybe to box out Laconey a little bit, and that's a tough ask of Laconey, who hasn't played all season, to come in and guard a 6'5" wide receiver on a slant like that. This is the first touchdown drive that I can remember this defense giving up that matters in a long time.
It's been a while. I'm not sure when the last time would have been.
Because I don't know when Freeport scored in the game. That would have been 3 weeks ago.
But if it wasn't Freeport, you have to go all the way back to East Allegheny.
Yeah, Freeport, it was 33-7. And I don't know if that was a touchdown towards the end of the game.
Who knows if the Stars were out there exactly?
East Allegheny was definitely a touchdown they gave up at the end of the half. And that was the last time I can remember where the defense gave up a touchdown on a drive of any sort at a time in the game where it mattered. So kudos to the Keystone Oaks offense. Even though they had a short field to work with, they did a nice job taking it down. Kyle Topinski grabs it away, fakes it to Fennell. He's going to take it to himself. He's got a lot of speed. He breaks through. Topinski's at the 40. He's at the 50. One person to beat. And he does it.
He's gone.
He's to the 20. 10. Touchdown, Kyle Topinski. 90-yard kickoff return. And that's a great response from North Catholic, huh, Alex?
Don't mess with the bull or you'll get the horns, Sean. Fantastic response from the Trojans. And the special teams making up for the previous mistakes on kickoffs. Get a kick return for 6.
And let's see if North Catholic can capitalize by getting the extra point. And they do. North Catholic up 21-7. Keystone Oaks had made it a one-possession game for 17 seconds. So that was it. And I don't know if you saw the beginning of that play, Alex.
He took it away from him.
He took it away from Liam Straub. He took it away from Liam Straub and then just ran through like 3 people.
And then the fake to Fennell.
Yeah, I wonder if that's something they practice or if that was Kyle just kind of ad-libbing a weird play because he stole it from Liam.
Yeah.
And then he saw Jack running the other way, faked it to him. And Keystone Oaks did an okay job staying home on that fake. They did. They had 2 or 3 people on this side of the field. But they tried to arm tackle Kyle Topinski, and that's just not going to work.
No chance.
I was wondering if Kyle was going to wait to set up his block on that touchdown run because Tyler Cannon was sprinting as fast as he could to go block the kicker, but Kyle didn't need him. He just faked out the kicker and ran past everybody
and I
into
talked
the
about
end
his
zone.
speed earlier in this game. That's evident right there.
Yeah, he's had a really, really good senior season. He's been the person on offense that North Catholic has given the ball to when they need scores late in the close games that they've been in, when they need someone who's not going to turn over the ball. So good job for Topinski. Let's see if North Catholic can defend a kick here.
Would have gone out of bounds. That's a big block on that side.
Out to the 32.
That was a big block out of bounds there, about the 20-yard line by Keystone Oaks.
I think it was LeConte?
LeConte,
number
yeah.
20. So North Catholic just risking kicking out of bounds there. They didn't really care
Yeah.
if it went out of bounds. They didn't want Keystone Oaks to have the option of returning the ball up the middle of the field. Keystone Oaks would have been better served to let that ball go out of bounds. But let's see if the Golden Eagles can respond here. They had a nice 35-yard touchdown drive to score at 10:08 of the second quarter. On an 18-yard touchdown pass. And now it looks like they are going to go out and pass again. Kevin Drew is not in the game. Alex, you noticed him limping off. We'll see if we see him at all the rest of this game.
Just over.
A
hit his
high
hands.
throw.
Buckley's pass intended for number 19.
Alex Samarin.
Alex Samarin.
It's pretty tough to overthrow Alex Samarin. He's 6'2".
Yeah, Buckley's been a little bit
A
inaccurate.
little bit off.
That one, but when he has connected,
He's been
Keystone
good,
Oaks
yes.
they've definitely got some wide receivers a little bit open. This is as
He
we
might
said
be
on the
best
first
quarterback
drive.
we've seen
Yeah,
this year.
and it's the best pass protection line
Yes.
that we've seen easily all year. A lot of quarterbacks, when they're going back to pass against the Trojans, have like 2 seconds to either throw the ball away or just get enveloped by the North Catholic pass rush. Buckley standing in there, scrambles, and he gets rid of it. Reck makes the man
Really good
miss,
job to get rid of it.
and he's going to make Straub miss as well. He's down the sideline, sprinting inside North Catholic territory to about the 40-yard line. He's been really impressive tonight, Alex. Sean Reck, he's made the best plays on defense for Keystone Oaks, and there he's coming out of the backfield as a wide receiver.
He really has been impressive. About a 28-yard play right there. They mark him out of bounds sooner. They cut about 10 yards off that play by marking him out of bounds at the 48.
That's a break for
I thought
North
it looked
Catholic.
It looked a lot farther than that.
Yeah.
We'll take that. But he's been really impressive today, especially the yards after the Keystone Oaks has been great with getting yards after the catch in this game too. Really good about that. North Catholic's got to get a quick tackle. They really do, especially against these bigger guys. You've got to have 1 and 2 people to the ball at all times.
And Reich is met immediately by
No game.
Robbie Kress. His last name is spelled R-E-I-C-K. And I didn't get here early enough to get a name pronunciation, so I don't know if that's Reich or Reck. If anyone who knows him is listening, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing his name. So 2nd and 10, 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. North Catholic leads 21-7. Keystone Oaks has 4 wide receivers, including Laconi on Kenny, which was the matchup that resulted in a touchdown the first time for Keystone Oaks, and they're going to go back to it.
He's got the
Lobbing
size.
it up for Kenny, and it's just a little bit outside his reach. What do you think Keystone Oaks sees in that matchup that they're going right back to it, Alex?
They see the height difference. 83, Quinn Kenny, 6'5", and he can run. And
We don't have.
6'5".
I don't think we have a height.
Carson, he's
6
that's
feet,
at least
maybe?
That's at least a 3-inch difference in height. That's at least 3-inch difference in height. And when you're able to exploit that, because he had him right there. If that throw was maybe a foot closer to his body, been able to catch that one, maybe go in for 6. So you got to be careful with that. As we talked about earlier this year, that was a problem for the Trojans.
Screen pass to Reich, and Reich is going to try to go through
Nice
Prentice,
tackle.
and Prentice throws him backwards. That's going to set up a 4th and 5 or 6 for Keystone Oaks. Now let's see what they decide to do. The offense right now looks like they're staying on the field. Buckley is conferencing with his coaches on the sideline. I'm sure the quarterback always wants to stay in the game on 4th down.
They're going to go for it here.
So big play here in the first half.
Really is.
Keystone Oaks, they were down 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, and they started the second quarter with a great kickoff return and a good drive to make it 14-7. And then Kyle Topinski, a long touchdown return on a kickoff, and now a big 4th down play. It's a pitch to Reich. Can he get to the corner? And what a play from Kyle Topinski, Alex. Reich wanted to get to the outside, and Topinski made him turn back up inside where that great team defense from North Catholic was in pursuit. And it's going to be a turnover on downs.
I'm sorry, but I can't believe that play call by Keystone Oaks. I can't believe it. When you have Quinn Kenny once again in single coverage on the near side, and you don't throw, and you don't look, you don't even give him a look in that direction, that's crazy to me. The running game, as we've seen, has not worked for the majority of this game. They've stuffed them at the line of scrimmage. Their pass protections is their secret sauce on offense, and you don't even give it a look.
Yeah, interesting play call. Keystone Oaks chooses to run it. They don't make the first down, and North Catholic will take over with 7:42 left. Jack Fennell gets about 3 or 4 yards after contact there. Nice little run from Fennell as he originally broke the tackle from Ryan Healy. and Healy looks a little shaken up. Fennel 5 or 6 yard run and throws. What is that he threw?
The hand warmer.
There.
The hand warmers. Wears around the waist. Put your hands in it.
We are. How many minutes are we into this game?
It's
17 on the play clock and about 40 minutes in real time. A lot of these players are playing both ways. They've got to be warmed up by now, even though it's not that warm outside. You don't need hand warmers. It's not that cold.
Yeah, no.
Although we do have the heat on up here in the booth, so who am I to talk?
I know. It's a lot warmer here than it is out there.
We're going to have a flag that kills this play, presumably. Unless it was a timeout. Flag.
Yeah.
False start, North Catholic, and that erases Fennel's run. Takes it from a 2nd and 6 to a 2nd and looks like a long 11 yards. North Catholic at its 44-yard line.
That is a long 11. That's a long 11.
Well, we're going to call it 12
We'll
now.
call it 12.
It says 11 on the scoreboard.
That's fine.
But they did announce 2nd and 12. 3 receivers for North Catholic. Long in as the tight end. Fennel as the running back. Prentice
Another
wants to
whistle.
throw. Another whistle. Very similar to the last play. You would figure a false start again.
Yep.
Can you see what's going on with that false start? They don't really tell us numbers up here, but the play has looked the same.
They're now North Catholic's calling timeout. Coach O'Shea is saying right now, slow down. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Wait till the snap comes out before you start moving. The offensive line has had some problems in this game with penalties. 2 illegal men downfield penalties that made them convert a 4th down 3 different times in the same drive. It might be the same guy. For all we know, it could be the same guy.
Yeah, that's a great point. I had forgotten that they had to convert 3 consecutive 4th downs. That really looms large now that Keystone Oaks actually has a point. Because if you don't convert that 4th down, the game could be even closer than it is right now. And it looks like the referees are over-explaining to North Catholic coaches maybe what exactly those penalties are about.
That's 4 penalties on the line in this half so far. That's 4. Second and 17.
It was 4th and 17 after the last 2 consecutive offensive line penalties, and that's when Prentice hit Straub streaking over the middle. Let's see if Prentice can do it through the air again. Dupinski, Maziarz, and I think Straub is wide left. They're the wide receivers out there. Prentice is going to go deep to Straub, and getting in there and making that catch hard was E.J. Simon. He didn't turn around, but he also didn't
touch him.
He didn't make contact with Straub, and that's why there was no flag.
Really good body positioning there. Really good. And if he turns around, might have picked it.
So 3rd and 17. 3rd and 17. North Catholic up 21-7, 6:33 left to go in the 2nd quarter. North Catholic Trojans playing the Keystone Oaks.
Golden Eagles.
Golden Eagles. Classic nickname. Lots of Golden Eagles when you look at the NCAA tournament every year for basketball. Marquette. Oral Roberts, I think, is also the Golden Eagles.
Goes to Butler, Golden Tornadoes.
Prentice is going to keep it. He's getting to the outside with a stiff arm, and he gets to about the 50-yard line. And that's going to set up a 4th and 5, and North Catholic is going to punt it. You've got a great defense. Make Keystone Oaks go 80 or 90 yards for a touchdown, presumably, if you can get Daniel Long with a good kick here.
If they weren't up by 14, it'd be a different situation, but they are up by 14, and that's why they're going to punt it here.
Long is punting, and I can't quite see the number of the Keystone Oaks player. Looks like 16, actually. Owen Minford.
Get it away. Oh, that was a little too close for comfort.
It's going to take the the long roll right there inside the 10-yard line. If you
Down
let a
to the
Daniel
6.
Long punt,
Oh my gosh.
if you let a Daniel Long punt hit the ground, that's a bad decision because it's gonna roll forward. He's not like those NFL punters that are they're punting
Putting the
pitching
backspin on it,
wedges
yeah.
and backspin. His is gonna roll real forward.
Got the home field bounce on that one too.
So the punt almost gets blocked, but it turns out well for Daniel Long, and Keystone Oaks has got to go 94 yards for a touchdown.
I'd be very
here.
careful about running the football if that was Keystone Oaks right now. I'd be very careful about that. You don't want to get backed up anymore.
At the same time, though, if you're going to pass from here, you do risk a safety.
You do, yes. But the pass
this would be
protection
the
has
time.
been their best blocking, though.
Yeah.
It really has been their best blocking.
It's going to be a short
See, look
shotgun.
at this. Look at this. Still, they're still going one-on-one with Laconey and Kenny here on the near side. Overthrown.
Yeah, well overthrown. It did look like one-on-one, but then Joey Prentice backed up to
They're
take
just
away the
disguising
middle,
coverage.
and
Yeah.
Laconey would have had the outside.
Buckley
so they
never
did,
looked over there. He never even looked over there. He knew where he was going with that one, just a little too high.
I think a lot of quarterbacks in high school kind of predetermine
Oh, yeah.
where they're going to go with the ball. That takes a lot of skill and practice to be able to go through multiple reads.
That's what we've seen from Joey in this game, too. We look at some of those plays where he's been able to improvise later down the field, and especially those fourth down plays in that first quarter, really able to improvise, and was the reason they converted on that fourth down.
This time they're looking at Kenny.
Look out.
And they throw it over to him. And Laconey this time,
He was
great
ready.
break on the ball.
He was ready.
That's been kind of a fun matchup to watch now that we know that Kenny really beat Laconey for the touchdown. Carson, even though he hasn't played all year, you talked about how he really wants to get back. He's a great defensive player. I'm sure he's going to try to make up for that touchdown he did there.
That's a tough throw because they're way on the far side of the field and thrown across the body, trying to get over towards the ball over towards the sideline, not in towards the numbers. You want to hit it in towards the sideline. That's one of the toughest throws in football.
And this time they're just going to run it, and they're not going to get any yardage. But that was I don't want to throw an interception on third down call,
Yes.
I think, from the Keystone Oaks offense. And now you figure North Catholic is going to get great field position. The Trojans had a number of blocked punts.
Yes, they
early
have.
in the season. This is the
Good
area
time
of the
for one.
field where you might want to just set everybody loose, not care too much about setting up the kick return, and just go after the punt. And I guess the people to look at for that would be number 7, Gavin Camedy on the right-hand side of the line. Now let's see if we can follow him because he's been one who's gotten in there pretty quick. He almost blocked the first kick tonight. This would definitely be a time to get one. Putting deep in their own end zone. Keystone
He
Oaks.
steps back. They end up stepping back.
Yeah, they're
that's a little
trying to
different.
set up the punt. It's a good punt over Straub's head.
Wow.
And to about the 43-yard line. That is as good as Keystone Oaks could have hoped for there, Alex.
I'm a little perplexed by why they did not send the house to block that punt. I'm a little perplexed on that one. And that one rolled very well. That's a really good punt. That's a really good punt. Is that about 50 yards? That was about from the 4-yard line.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about a 50-yard punt, which is really good in high school. A wonderful punt from Keystone Oaks. North Catholic still has a short field.
Oh, yeah.
Only 46, 47 yards, but it could have been a lot less than that. Keystone Oaks needs their defense to step up here.
About 53-yard punt. 53-yard punt.
Long is in the backfield with Topinski, maybe as the lead blocker.
Yep.
And Long is the lead blocker. Topinski's going to try to spin off a couple people, and he's only going to gain 1 yard.
That's something the Trojans have struggled a little bit this year, is running up the middle. They're really good when they run to the either side of the line, but running up the middle is somewhere that they have struggled this season.
Something they've added this year that maybe they didn't have last year is multiple looks on offense. Last year, it was always one person in the backfield, 3 wide receivers, essentially. And this time they got 2 people in the
Oh,
backfield.
look out. Ball's still loose.
Ball is loose, and Keystone Oaks falls
and
on it.
Keystone Oaks has it.
Recovered by number 19, Samorin.
Credit Keystone Oaks there with a good defensive possession. They didn't give up really any yardage on first down. Maybe Joey Prentice pressing a little bit. I didn't see if he just didn't catch the snap cleanly.
They rushed it
whether
a little
was
too much. I think he rushed
a bad fake, a botched handoff. I don't know, but he couldn't fall on the ball. It squirted away, and Keystone Oaks has it. And something we haven't seen for a couple weeks. But the turnovers might be biting North Catholic again. This is where they need the defense to step up, or Keystone Oaks could get it back into within 1 score. Buckley, he's got time.
Oh, here goes Prentice.
He unloads deep.
Nope.
And too far.
Flag on
And there's
the
a
play.
flag.
Thrown. That flag was thrown maybe 20 yards. But how about the referee with the arm on that throw, Sean?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah,
It was
one of the
thrown-
best throws we've seen tonight.
Yeah, it was thrown from about the 25-yard line down to about the 5. It was a little bit late, but I mean I could see a little bit of contact as that wide receiver was sprinting to the end zone to try to catch the deep ball, and presumably pass interference on North Catholic.
Yeah.
Pass interference on the Trojans.
I'm not sure who that was on. There were 2 guys.
Yeah, it was
running.
I think it was Camedy and Arrington. Arrington is a real physical corner.
He is.
And I feel like in the high school level, sometimes you get penalized a little bit too much for that. And maybe he would get away with that. A little bit more contact at college or NFL, at least early. But maybe too late of a bump there from either Arrington or Camedy.
But that's also
It's
where the
gonna be a
size
first down.
factors into this one. The size difference for these Keystone Oaks wide receivers and tight ends is a big key for them with these pass interference calls. Incomplete.
They're trying for Quinn Kenny, who came all the way from the left side of the line and ran short in front of the offensive line, and Buckley was not able to get him. But still, that Keystone Oaks offensive line is doing a great job
They really have been.
blocking Long and Primrose. And I think they're really double teaming those guys when they get the chance. And sometimes that doesn't even work. They're such great pass rushers, but Keystone Oaks is doing a nice job on them tonight.
And they're hitting Joey Prentice just enough to delay him enough for Buckley to get the ball out before he hits him. And that's happened about 3 times tonight where they've just gotten enough contact on him to delay him just enough.
Buckley quickly out to a screen pass, and with a lot of room to run, that was Alex Samorin. And that's going to be a
16
first
yards.
down.
Buckley's pass complete to number 19, Samorin.
Oh, look, limping off is Kevin Drew.
Number 81, Ronnie.
That's the ankle that you
Yep.
said he was bothering him
Same
earlier.
ankle. That doesn't look good.
That's a shame because
is.
he's a senior. He had, how many yards did he have that first playoff game? It was a lot. He's been Keystone Oaks' best player maybe on offense for much of the season. 163 yards
Wow.
on 20 carries. He's had 1 carry tonight for maybe 2 yards. And as a senior, I mean, this could be his last game. You never want to see a senior be hurt in their last game. So tough game for Kevin Drew. Maybe he'll feel better in the second half. First and goal from the 6.
Big opportunity for a stand here by the North Catholic defense. Take a stand.
Buckley rolling right, and he's going to be
Oh, way
hit
ahead!
by
Is that-
Prentice.
Incomplete. Arm was going forward on the play. It was going forward.
Ball went out of bounds anyway.
Yep.
That time, Prentice got there quick enough that Buckley couldn't even make a semblance of an attempt to hit a receiver.
Unblocked that time. Did not hit him. As I talked about earlier, that time they did not hit him. He wasn't ready for it. Didn't see him coming from the blind side. Right to the number.
That was a big hit, too, from
It
Prentice.
really was. Right to the numbers. Right in the back.
If you've
I don't know
watched,
how you hang on to that ball. I don't know how you could.
if you've watched the Steelers recently, that almost looked like the Chris Boswell play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So Buckley, a nice job getting up from that hit. He's right back in there. Reich is in the backfield.
Except this
4
one was
wide
legal.
receivers.
This one was legal.
It's a pitch to Reich. Reich can't make Prentice miss. Great tackle by Prentice. That was a one-on-one play, Reich versus Prentice, and Prentice won that showdown.
Prentice has been almost equally good on defense as he has been on offense today.
Yeah, this has been he's been the most noticeable on defense that I've seen him all season this game. Maybe that extra week off has really benefited him as he's had that nagging foot injury all season. He looks very fast tonight, especially on defense, getting a lot of good tackles and pressures on the quarterback.
Because when I've seen him around the school, for large parts of this year, he was wearing the boot. But now, last couple weeks, no boot. And he looks great.
Just tennis shoes.
Just tennis shoes. Yes.
So he's been bothered enough just to wear the comfortable shoes. Oh, wow, what a catch!
You got to be kidding
Oaks bobbles the ball a couple times.
Touchdown.
And it's going to be a touchdown for Owen Minford. A 9-yard touchdown with 2:45 to go in the second quarter.
I'm supposed to have words. I don't know how many words I have to describe that play, Mr. Blunt. I don't know how many I have. That was he caught it, hit him in the chest, bounces up in the air, and brings it back down. 2 catches.
Unfortunately for Keystone Oaks, you don't get double the points if you catch the ball twice in the same play.
I think there's a flag on that play. There was.
Maybe not, though. It looks like the kick is going to stand. That makes it 21-14. So Keystone Oaks, when they've got the ball at about the 35-yard line on their 2 touchdown drives, they've been able to put it in the end zone with some great receiving plays. The first one was Quinn Kenny outfighting Carson Laconey, and that one was Owen Minford. There was a lot of traffic around that play, too, and he was able to bring the ball down.
And there was a personal foul on the play against North Catholic. I think it's going to be enforced on the kickoff.
So you would think Keystone Oaks will just be able to boot it into the end zone and make North Catholic go the full 80 yards if they want to get a score here in the second quarter. 2:45 left in the first half. Keystone Oaks is making this a game, Alex. 21-14. Keystone Oaks, their 2 losses in AAA this year have been to the top 2 teams in their section. Central Valley, who's got the 1 seed, Avonworth, who's got the 3 seed.
Not bad losses. Not bad losses at all.
Yeah. But so not bad teams to lose to, but the games themselves, 42-0 to Central Valley, 35-0 to Avonworth. So Keystone Oaks, when they've played the best of AAA, they've gotten blown out. That's not the case here tonight.
No, not tonight.
They're putting up a really good fight tonight here.
But the last 4 games, coming into this game on a 4-game win streak, as we talked about, this is a team that's hungry to succeed. They've gotten to this point so far. They beat South Allegheny last week, crushed South Allegheny last week, and they got to this point. They're ready to play.
Kicked away, and Straub is not going to take it out of the end zone. Their kicker is number 99. That's a weird football number to see. Greg Wagner is the kicker for Keystone Oaks. I always think of Wayne Gretzky when I see 99.
Yeah.
Or I guess from a football standpoint, Levon Kirkland. He's probably before your time.
Yeah,
Alex.
you lost
he was
me
a
there.
Steeler linebacker. One of their many good edge rushing linebackers a long time ago when I was probably in middle school. I think he was on the team. Prentice is under center. This is a rare formation from North Catholic, and he's going to give the ball to Topinski, running to his left, cuts it back up the middle, and tackled around the ankles after that's going to be a pretty good gain. They're going to give him a 6 or 7 yard gain.
As I talked about it earlier, they're so much better when they don't run up the middle. They move the line to the left, and they went up and made a nice run there. It's so tough to run straight up against the middle against teams. This is not a bad defense. This is not a bad defense Keystone Oaks has. It's so tough to run up the middle, especially against some of the big boys on defense. So much easier because we have so much speed on offense to go to the outside and make a play.
So 2nd and 3. Prentice is going to look deep. He heaves it up. Maziarz is there, and that was not Maziarz. That was Straub, and it's going to bounce off of Straub as he was fighting with number 4 from Keystone Oaks, E.J. Simon.
There was some contact there by both of them, though. There was some contact.
Yeah, and I think since it was from both of them, that's why there was no foul on that play. I was going to say before the snap, it looks so much like a run formation. You wondered when North Catholic was going to go
take a shot
with play action. and that was it there. And they had Straub one-on-one, but he couldn't quite come down with it. And now you've got a 3rd and 4 with just under 2 minutes left in the first half. Prentice is going to not be able to throw the ball because there's a flag.
False start.
Gee, that is the 3rd false start of this half, and the 5th penalty, as you've mentioned, on the offensive line. And I don't know if Keystone Oaks has had any similar penalties on offense. So as good as the North Catholic offense looked on its first 2 drives, we're seeing a repeat of some stuff for earlier in the season in terms of penalties, and then the fumble on the last drive.
5 penalties on the line in this first half.
Prentice in the shotgun now. He is going to keep it himself. He bursts up the middle. He's fighting for that first down, and I think he's going to get it.
He did get it. How about that run? And it's so great when you have a quarterback that's not afraid to get hit. When he's willing to get his hands dirty and make a big play up the middle, that's so great to have.
So
on
North
any
Catholic
offense.
still 70 yards to go with only under 140 left. I think they have 2 timeouts, so still some time, but they've probably got to get some passes down the field. Prentice going deep. Topinski's open, and that's definitely pass interference.
And flag! There we go.
And I don't know if that was the same ref, but that was another one that was about 15 to 20 yards on the flag throw.
He did underthrow him on that one, but just the speed of Kyle Topinski down that sideline was able to bait that corner and hit him. You got to turn around. You got to turn around when you're playing.
I mean, that was really almost a touchdown saving.
But if he turned around, he would have picked it.
I don't think he would have picked it if he had turned around. I think if he turns around, he slows down, and Kyle Topinski makes a better adjustment than he does. I think running into Topinski is the only way he prevents the catch on that play.
Trojans have it 1st and 10 at the 46.
1st and 10, 46-yard line, 1:25 to go. North Catholic looking to put some points on the board as Keystone Oaks has just made this a 1-score game. They have been down, Keystone Oaks has 14 points twice in this game, but both times they've had about 35-yard touchdown drives that get them into the end zone. 2 touchdown passes for Buckley, 1 to Kenny and 1 to Minford. Prentice is going to trying to run up the middle, and
flag
there's
on the
a
play.
flag, and it takes about 3 people to tackle Prentice at the 47-yard line. Let's see what the flag is.
Tapped by number 58. Doesn't exist.
Might have seen a face mask. We'll see. It is a face mask. How about that vision by me? Oh, my gosh. How about that, Mr. Malone?
I don't know how you saw that, Alex,
Yeah.
because there was 3 people tackling Joey Prentice, and it's on the far side of the field from us. So good eyes there, seeing the face mask. A 5-yard face mask.
5 yards.
Is there a 5 and a 15 variety? Do you know what the difference is, Alex?
I have no clue. I've never seen a 5-yard face mask. I haven't seen that this year in a Trojans game, to be fair.
Maybe it's just if you tap the face mask.
Maybe.
I think you maybe have to pull on the 15-yard variety. Prentice is rolling to
He's got
his
long.
right.
Got long with a little bit of space.
And Topinski breaking over the middle. It's a jump ball, and
He had
Topinski's
it.
going to drop it. He had some room to maneuver there as Keystone Oaks did not want to commit another pass interference. They let Topinski move around as much as he wanted to. And, boy, you'd like to see him bring that ball in.
It'd be so nice to get some points here before you go to halftime if you're at the Trojans. Just to get a little bit more momentum, a little bit more cushion on the scoreboard before you go into half.
2nd and 5, 1:08 to play. North Catholic needs to go 49 yards. And again, Kevin Drew was out there, and he's limping off the field. He must have a lot of pain tolerance to want to go back out there on the field continually.
That's a competitor. That's a competitor right there.
Prentice fakes it, throws it over the middle.
It was tipped. It was tipped on that play.
That was
Sean
Minford who breaks it up. Topinski had both hands on the ball that time. Minford came over the top and jarred the ball loose. Minford, who scored their touchdown, juggling the ball on the last play, makes a good defensive play there. Minford, one of a couple players on Keystone Oaks who's had a real good first half.
And it was tipped by number 2, Sean Reich, just before it got to Topinski. Third and 5.
3rd and 5. North Catholic 3 wide receivers to the wide side, the right side of the field. Fennel in the backfield with Prentice. Prentice
Nice
pitches
flip.
it to Fennel. Let's see. Fennel's got speed
Don't
to
test
the
his
outside.
speed. Oh,
and
my goodness.
Another first down. And he gets out of bounds, which is going to stop the clock.
Ball carrier runs down close to the 40.
You could run that every play, and you get a production. Every play, I think.
Eventually, I think Keystone Oaks would start trying to set the
Then
edge.
they go to the other side. That's when you flip it. He's versatile. I love that flip. That flip has worked a couple times tonight to Jack.
Sometimes they've got a receiver in kind of like a jet motion that they also use to get to the outside. But it has worked with Fennel on the flip plays. 41-yard line for North Catholic. Quick throw to Straub. Let's see what he can do. He bounces
Nice blocks
into the
by
left,
wide
and
receivers.
he's going to get to the outside.
Really
out
good
of bounds.
blocking.
Complete to number 26, Strong. Picks up about 11.
This is a great drive so far from the Trojans. They had 2 minutes, under 2
Yes.
minutes, about 80 yards to go, and they've been able to march down the field. A lot of plays in that time, getting out of bounds when they can, taking advantage of a pass interference penalty, and now they're definitely within scoring range, you feel. 32 yards away with 50 seconds left. This would be huge for North Catholic to come away with points at the end of the second quarter, and certainly deflating for Keystone Oaks. Fennel going up the middle, breaks one tackle,
Big
and
hit.
flying in is Minford at
Big
the end
hit.
to make sure he doesn't go any further. But he
Timeout.
does get a first down.
Yeah, timeout North.
Brought down by number 2, right, and number 16.
And that was I think that was their last timeout. They have no
Final
more
timeout.
timeouts, yeah.
Final timeout of the half.
Final timeout, so they have 43 seconds left. With no timeouts, you can't really be tackled in the field too often now. You can run up and you can spike the ball and kill the clock, maybe. So they've definitely got a couple plays that they can run. At least one possession, you would think, especially if they throw the ball. That was a good use of the timeout there on
It
a
was.
simple run to get another first down. What plays are you going to go to here at the end of the first half, Alex, to get the 30 yards that would give North Catholic another 2-touchdown lead?
I think you got to go to your guys with speed. You got Liam Straub out there. You got Jack Fennel out there. You see the big wide receivers making blocks down the field. You got Kyle Dupinski in there. Big body down the field also. Get him involved. We got the weapons. You just got to be able to use them properly.
Yeah, let's see whose number they call. No, there is no one from North Catholic no receivers at least on the left side of the line, and even Jack Fennel is on the right hand side here. So all the action might be to the right, unless maybe Joey Prentice scrambles out to the left. But he's going to go to his right. He's looking at the end zone.
A little too far.
And a little
Oh,
bit.
he's got it!
Oh!
Touchdown!
touchdown!
What a play! I didn't even see him. He came out of nowhere. Tyler Maziarz, his second of the game. What a play!
I can't even remember if Tyler Maziarz has like more than one touchdown reception in the whole season, and he's now got 2 in this first half. 32-yard touchdown from Prentice. Do you think he was throwing to Maziarz, or was he going for Straub there? I couldn't tell.
I thought he was going for Straub. Maziarz came out of nowhere. He looped around at about the 10, looping around to about the R and Mars in the end zone, and picked that one up.
Yeah, my eyes were totally focused on Straub. I saw the overthrow. I saw Straub run into a player.
That was no good on the extra point.
Hits the upright. So hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt North Catholic. The missed extra point gives them a 13-point lead, though, with 37 seconds left. Trojans lead 27-14. Yeah, I was wondering if there was going to be a pass interference play because Straub and a Keystone Oaks defender collided. I didn't see a flag right away, so I was like, oh, we're going to have another play. And then Maziarz was under it, very surprisingly. So Tyler Maziarz with a 32-yard touchdown reception there and an 11-yard touchdown reception to start the scoring off with 8:48 in the first quarter. So he has 2 of the 4 North Catholic touchdowns. The other ones are to Jack Fennel on an 8-yard touchdown run where he showed his speed to the pylon. And then Kyle Topinski, speed and power, the 90-yard touchdown return. For Keystone Oaks, they have 2 touchdowns, an 18-yard touchdown from Buckley to Kenny, and a 9-yard TD from Buckley to Minford. This has been a very entertaining first half.
It really has. It's been fantastic. But Keystone Oaks, 36.7 seconds to get down the field and get some points. 3 timeouts left. So they can do it.
What do you do here on the kickoff if you're North Catholic?
Kick it long, kick it deep, kick it as far as you can. I know you struggled with giving up some big returns, but I think you got to take your chances. They don't. They flag here on the play.
I don't know what that is. I don't know why the flag is there.
What's that guy? I don't know what he's doing. Is he saying my bad? What's he doing? Lots of confusion here. It's a false start. Have you seen a false start at a kickoff before?
I think I have.
I can't remember the last time.
So North Catholic chose to kind of squib that there, and it was an odd squib kick, and then it almost turned into an onside kick. I'm sure that wasn't intentional, but it looks like North Catholic is going to put it on the ground.
They can do the same thing again?
In the hopes
there's a little bit of space here at about the 35-yard line on Keystone Oaks side of the field, or you might want to put it.
Yeah, and that's what they do. They just kick
right
it
there,
along the ground.
right exactly there.
Along the ground. And
they'll
Keystone Oaks
30.
falls on the 30. They didn't want Keystone Oaks to have any chance of returning that ball. And they want Keystone Oaks to have to go 70 yards. I don't even know if Keystone Oaks is going to try to score here. But they do have a good passing game, so maybe you figure on first down you want to take a shot deep to one of your tall receivers. Let's see what
we'll find out from
Keystone
this first
Oaks,
play.
Yeah, let's see what Keystone Oaks decides to do. Buckley is lining up in that short shotgun. Minford has a lot of room out to the right, although you would figure Camity's going to slide over there as soon as it's not a handoff.
They're going to throw it.
And they are going to go Minford outside, guarded by Straub, and
it's
complete. And he falls out of bounds. Let's see if he's marked inside or not. That was a beautiful throw from Buckley, taking advantage of one-on-one coverage. Liam Straub was right there, but it was a beautiful throw and a great catch from Minford.
Big 25-yard play down the field. And you saw that from the very beginning, the amount of space he had on that side of the field. He was able to run a good 10 yards closer to that sideline to get the body positioning there to be able to bring that one down.
And Minford is 6'1", 175. Liam Straub is probably 5'10". So even there, Keystone Oaks has about a 2 or 3 inch height advantage.
That's all it takes sometimes. It really is all it takes. And they get to keep their time out in their pocket.
27 seconds left. Only 2 wide receivers still. So it looks like there's a couple tight ends into the game. Reich in the backfield.
Kenny has some space to hit side now. They're looking
Buckley
back to me.
is going to throw over the middle.
Oh!
And Kyle Topinski almost picked it. Seamus Straub was in on the coverage. There was a lot of Trojans in on that play. That was a risky throw for Keystone Oaks.
They read his eyes the entire way. That's the only place he looked was on that side of the field. There were 5 Trojans probably in the vicinity of that play. And as you said, almost went the other way.
23 seconds. Still 2 receivers, Minford and Kenny. Minford to the right, Kenny to the left. Buckley is just going to hand it up the middle to Reich. And he's going to be met after about 3 yards, continuing the theme of Keystone Oaks not having any room to run up the middle. Timeout, Keystone Oaks. It is 3rd down.
That play was good for 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 8 coming out of the timeout.
3rd and 8. I figured they'd pass it again.
I would think
at this point
they would have to.
Yeah, you've worked across the field.
I would wonder if they're going to go back to that 4 wide receiver set that they had been using before.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're still being a little bit conservative. When you have more of those tight ends in there, you've got more blockers, and you can make sure that there's not like a sack and a fumble or a pressure that leads to an interception. I don't know exactly what Keystone Oaks is thinking. 43 yards is a long way to go in 16 seconds. Maybe you just chuck it up to one of your tall receivers as closest to the end zone as your quarterback's arm can get it. But to do that, he does have to have a little bit of time. But it should be an interesting end to the half here.
And there's that 4 wide receiver look.
Yeah, those wide receivers are Clinton Robinson, Quinn Kenny, Minford, and Samarin. Minford and Samarin on the right, Robinson and Kenny on the left here.
All above 6 foot.
Yeah, a lot of tall players. Buckley looking back.
He's got a guy in the middle of the field.
Deep. Middle of the field,
got
and
him.
it was caught. Caught by Minford.
Timeout's going to be called. 9 seconds left.
Do they have a timeout?
They do. They have 2 left, and they're going to burn their second.
Keystone Oaks masterfully keeping all their timeouts, and they're all the
What a
way down
play.
to the it's going to be 1st and goal. They're at the 8-yard line. And this is really something that we haven't seen all year for the North Catholic defense. Keystone Oaks had 70 yards to go with under a minute. And so far, they've been able to do it, getting down to the 8-yard line. North Catholic during halftime has got to do something to figure out how to stop the Keystone Oaks passing attack. Minford and Kenny and Samarin have all done a great job in this half.
It's tough to teach height. I mean, it is. And that's, as we've seen a couple plays today, that size difference resulted in the first touchdown of the game. And then from there, they've really made some big plays due to their size. They're able to box people out. That was down the field. There was both safeties that gravitated to the outside on both sides of the field. He was able to run just right up the middle on single coverage. And then the safeties came just a little bit too late.
So 9 seconds left. If you're going to kick a field goal, you've only got one play to the end zone. Let's see what happens. They've got 4 wide receivers again, and Robinson is definitely single coverage to the outside against Laconia. And
they're
that's
looking
where
at
they're
him.
going. It's a slant, and Laconi's in there, breaking it up. Good play from Laconia. That was a close, almost a touchdown for Keystone Oaks, but I think Laconia may have gotten a hand in there, being physical to try to make up for the height difference.
That's what you got to do from now on. You got to meet them at the line of scrimmage. You got to press the line of scrimmage, get that initial contact, slow them down a bit so you can get your defensive lineman a little bit more time to get to the quarterback. Because as we see, when he doesn't have time, they're not getting those throws.
Still 4 wide receivers.
Still get another playoff after this.
If they throw it quick, they will get another play. 6 seconds. Buckley rolling to his right, looking for Minford. And he dropped
what
that
a
ball.
play!
I think Minford dropped the ball there.
Who's on that sideline?
I think that was, it was Laconia.
How about the eyes from the booth? Mr. Mazziar's heck of an eyes.
Yeah, Laconia. I don't know if Laconia broke that up or if that just bounced off. Okay, it did.
He did. He did break it up on that pylon. Really good play.
Yeah, I saw Minford just sprint to that pylon and then turn, and the ball was right on his shoulder, but Laconia read it well.
One more play. Pending a flag.
1.3 seconds, and they are going to kick a field goal here. Trusting their kicker with a 24-yard field goal. This is Greg Wagner trying to make it a 10-point game. Snap, good. Kick up, good. And good leg on that kick. Nice kick from Wagner. We know that Keystone Oaks has that in their back pocket. They've got a good field goal kicker. So Wagner, a 24-yard field goal with no time remaining in the second quarter. That makes it 27-17 in the first half. We had a lot of scoring in the first half. North Catholic led 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. Touchdowns by Fennell and Tyler Mazziars. Keystone Oaks started off the scoring in the second quarter with an 18-yard touchdown pass from Nick Buckley to Quinn Kenny. Then immediately Kyle Topinski, a 90-yard touchdown return. And how big is that touchdown now, Alex, after Keystone Oaks has continued to score? And then Minford, 9-yard touchdown from Buckley that bobbled. He bobbled it, and then he caught it. 37 seconds left. Mazziars put the Trojans up 27-14, but then Keystone Oaks, an impressive 37-second drive to get a field goal and make it 27-17 going into halftime. We will, Alex, at the beginning of the second half, we'll get your thoughts on this first half. For right now, you can stay tuned for the Trib halftime show and also the bands.
Coach, you guys let up a little bit of bigger returns up there in the first half. What do you guys do to counter that in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, kick coverage it was really good beginning of the year, and we had some moments, but, the opening kickoff was good. We're right now, kick coverage, we're about 3 out of 5. This is bad, which means we gave up two big returns there.
Yeah.
And sometimes, we have guys that are hustling down the field. It's not the effort, but sometimes we over pursue, and we get a little excited, and we lose our discipline in what we need to do. So, we'll button that up, but, we got the kickoff return, which for the touchdown, we worked on that in practice all week, so that paid off. But, we got to open this half here with another big return.
Coach, you mentioned how Kyle had that big return for the touchdown. Can you break down what happened on that play and how big that was for momentum-wise?
Yeah, so, we scout and we look to see where we have opportunities. And, we're setting up a wall there. And, what we practiced all week is the kicker is usually going to kick the ball from the scout to the middle to that hash that Kyle's on. So we set up a return. We blocked it. We had specific blocking, assignment blocking. And Kyle's responsibility was if the ball is kicked to him, he looks for where we're trying to set up the lane for him. If it's not there, then he was going to fake reverse it to Jack Fennell. And they worked on, a really good fake, and Jack pulled that off, and Kyle was able to use his, God-given ability and take advantage of it.
Hey, Coach, thank you for your time. Good luck in the second half.
All right, guys, thank you very much.
Halftime show here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Getting ready for the second night of the WPIAL playoffs. Depending on what class you're talking about, it's either quarterfinals Friday or Final Four Friday. We'll talk about various things coming up with that gentleman right there, Chris Harlan. Our get-together here on the halftime show, sponsored by SE Tire and Export Tire. They work hard to earn your business. They have your size tire in stock. They can install it today. All the best brands at the best tire prices. It's Old William Penn Highway and Export for Export Tire. Route 51 Bell Vernon for SE Tire. We thank those fine folks for sponsoring the halftime show all year, which only has one more week left. Next week will be our final week. We'll look ahead to the state playoffs. But we're going to look ahead here this week too, Chris. Not necessarily postseason action. That's obviously going on. That's front and center. But here at halftime, we're going to talk about what the league will look like next year and in the 2023 season. It's time to realign according to PIAA roster numbers or PIAA school numbers. They have set the bars, the parameters. And so pretty much everybody has an idea now where they will be playing over the next 2 years as far as classification is concerned.
Yeah, there are things that get WPL coaches and players and fans talking. You always got championships, transfers. There was the public versus private debate, which is kind of quieted down. But every 2 years, we've got realignment. And that's one of those things that people look forward to because, you don't know who you're going to play. You're going to end up in a new conference, a new section, and that changes everything. But you're right. Right now, it's one of those things every 2 years, the PIAA and then the WPL also, they kind of hit the reset button. And all the teams get shuffled back in and realigned in order based on enrollment, biggest to smallest, and they divide those up into 6 classes. And that's where we're at right now in that process. So a few weeks ago, all the schools had to have all their new enrollment numbers into the state. The state took those numbers, kind of divided them up, sent them back to the schools. And now the schools have until early December to decide whether or not they're going to play up. Do they want to go voluntarily to a higher classification? Right now, like you mentioned, all we know right now are the parameters, the top enrollment number and the bottom enrollment number for each classification. We don't officially know what schools are going to be in what classification yet. That won't come until December. We still got another few weeks for that. But right now, we're in that process of putting things together, and the PIAA's putting all those numbers together, and we'll see here in a few weeks. And come December, once those numbers are put together, once the PIAA releases those numbers, that's when the WPL really gets to work. They get to work. They take those numbers. They put teams into new conferences, new sections, and that'll be sometime after the new year, January, February. We'll probably start seeing some new conferences. But I think you're already hearing from coaches and players and stuff some anticipation as you start building toward that, wondering, are they going up? Are they going down? what's going to happen? Or the rivalry is still going to be the same? So it's a few weeks here where you get some uncertainty among these teams as realignment gets into the process.
Once those parameters are set, schools can decide to play up. They cannot decide to play down. This is going to be the 7th and 8th year of the 6 classification cycle. Real quick, Chris, has it worked?
Depends on who you talk to, I think. I don't think it's going away. I think it's here to stay. But it really affects, I think you see at the far ends, the small schools, big schools. You see some discrepancy, some disparity at the two ends, especially in Western Pennsylvania. But I really don't think you're going to see 6 classifications going away across the state. I know there's a lot of districts that do like it. It didn't necessarily work always here, but I do think it's here to stay. I think we're going to have to live with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point you make, in that I think in some of the classifications, it works wonderfully. In others, not so much. One of those classifications, it does not work, to be honest, is 6A. When we return, we'll talk about that, the ever-shrinking highest classification in the WPIAL. It's the halftime show sponsored by SC Tire and Export Tire on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Need new tires in a hurry? SC Tire has your size tire in stock. Install today. Before you hit the open road, see the tire experts at SC Tire. We do tires and we do them right. Before you hit the open road, see the tire experts at Export Tire. We do tires and we do them right. If it has wheels, we have the tires. Export Tire, your commercial tire headquarters.
Halftime show continues on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Don Rebel, Chris Harlan. We're talking about realignment, which will be announced in a month or two by the WPIAL, actually in January, so it's 2 months. 6A, it's been tough sledding, especially these last 2 years with only 8 teams. The numbers indicate there will only be 7 in the next 2-year cycle. It continues to shrink in part because of some of the growing numbers on the eastern side of the state. A lot of mergers over there, and with that really running the show, the tail that wags the dog, the WPIAL comes up a little bit short. I mean, it's a problem. It is this classification has become very predictable, very mundane, and dare I say, very boring. I know coaches and players of that classification don't want to hear it, but it's hard to argue against those things.
Yeah, yep. And like you said, the big problem is that the way the state takes all the teams and divides them up into 6 even groups. It's not like they take all the WPL teams and divide them into 6 even groups. It's all the teams across the state. And there are a lot of big schools out in the eastern side of the state. If you look at District 1, that's the suburban Philadelphia schools, they've got more than 30 teams in 6A, just in that district alone. Whereas, like you said, this year the WPL has 8. Next year it's going to be down to 7 because the way the numbers are looking right now with the parameters out, did a little math here, and you see Baldwin, according to the numbers they've put out, they're going to be below that line. So they're going to go back to 5A next year, which would leave the WPL with just 7 teams in 6A. And that leads to a discussion. I mean, they're going to have that in the coming weeks of what do you do with a classification that only has 7 teams? If you go back to 2016, when they first went to 6 classifications, there were 14 6A teams in the WPIL. 14 is a lot more manageable as a classification that, have a season. They had 2 conferences at that point. You have a playoff bracket. With just, down to 7, what do you do? I mean, that's in a 9-game season, you're going to play 6 conference games and 3 non-conference games. So then the WPIL has a dilemma there because who do you schedule? Do you put them up against 5A teams? So there's really no real good solution to that right now. I know people have said, what if you combine 6A and 5A? I mean, that's been a popular topic for a number of years.
5A schools don't want that, though.
They don't. And some of the 6A schools really don't want either. They like 6A because then they say, hey, down the road, you get some other problems like, qualifying for the state playoffs. If you play together in regular season, do you have separate WPL playoffs, or do you just crown one 5A, 6A champion? And Then you have to decide who are the 2 teams that go to the state finals or state championships or playoffs. So, there's a lot of discussion there. I think that's still going to have to be sorted out, whether they just go with a 7-team conference or try to do something creative. We'll learn that in the weeks to come.
Time will tell. They're going to have to be creative to try to spice up the highest classification. That's for sure. Again, next week, our final halftime show, Chris and I will talk about the big picture. Now, the PIAA state playoffs. But we will continue with quarterfinals and semifinal games here in the WPIAL playoffs. Enjoy the second half. The halftime show sponsored by SE Tire and Export Tire. You can shop for tires online. Check out their Google reviews. For Chris Harlan, I'm Don Rebel. Enjoy the second half here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
And we are back here at Mars Athletic Complex for the start of the second half. But before we start the second half, let's talk about the first half. Trojans up in this one 27-17, and it's been a tale of two quarters for me. The defense in the first quarter was fantastic for the Trojans, but once you got into the second quarter, the wide receivers were really able to exert their size on the North Catholic secondary. And that was the difference in this game in terms on the scoreboard. That's gotten the Golden Eagles within 10 points in this one. And that's really been the main thing, the size, the body positioning battles at the line of scrimmage as well. You got to be able to get, that's the thing you got to improve on if you're the Trojans. With these tall wide receivers, their main starters all above 6 foot for Keystone Oaks. If you get them at the line of scrimmage, you press them down, you get a little bit of contact there at the line of scrimmage, and then make them run up the field. That's when you make them run, and you have the safeties over the top covering for you there. But that gives you enough time for the Trojans' defensive line to be able to get pressure on the quarterback, which is something that they've been really struggling with in this one because the pass protection for the Golden Eagles has been so stellar so far. But Joey Prentice, as I've said throughout this game, has been seconds, half a second away from getting contact on Nick Buckley, the Keystone Oaks quarterback, and thwarting some of these plays down the field. And that's been the difference in this one. If you are able, it's all coming down to the secondary in this one, Mr. Malone, as I bring you back into the broadcast. The secondary is going to be what's going to be able to decide this game. And if the secondary is able to push back on those big wide receivers from Keystone Oaks, they're going to win this game, and they're going to shut it down quickly in the second half.
I guess something else to mention with the Keystone Oaks scoring is that their first 2 touchdowns were off a great special teams play in a kickoff return that was down to the 35-yard line, and then a turnover, a fumble by North Catholic that also gave them the ball on the 35-yard line. They hadn't had a long, sustained drive until the very end of the half when they almost scored in the last 30 seconds and really seemed to move the ball down the field. That was what was most concerning to me because their first 2 touchdowns drives they were given short fields and they capitalized on it. And North Catholic offense also slowed down a little bit in that second quarter. How big, with the way the entirety of the second quarter went, how big is that 90-yard touchdown return on the kickoff by Kyle Topinski in the first half?
It's huge. And for me, that was all improvised. That was all on the fly. He went back and he took the ball away from Jack Fennell. Jack Fennell could have caught that ball, but he said, let me take it. I can make this play too. And he went Liam Straub, he took it away from Liam Straub and he went down the field. Really incredible play. And that's what really turned the tide for the Trojans because at that point it was 14-7. And they needed a little bit of momentum. They were woken up on that touchdown by Keystone Oaks. And that was a phenomenal answer. It was a 7-point game for, I think it was 14 seconds. And then immediately, Trojans back up by 14 points. That's huge in the grand scheme of things in this one.
Yeah, especially because North Catholic was able to stop Keystone Oaks, but then they fumbled it, and Keystone Oaks went in and scored. That made it only a one-score game, 21-14. And then that magical touchdown pass, probably intended for Liam Straub, but Tyler Maziar's run in behind is able to get the ball and make his second touchdown catch of the game. Like, those are some wacky plays that have allowed the Trojans to score their touchdowns. And this is a game where they really need all the points they can get because Keystone Oaks is really succeeding offensively.
And for me, Sean, this is the best first half I've seen the North Catholic offense play, and this is the worst first half I've seen the North Catholic defense play. And they're really never on sync at the same time. Why can't we have the best of both worlds, Sean? Why can't we have the best of both worlds? Let's see it this half.
Yeah, maybe they will have it this half. And I think a key is going to be getting pressure on the quarterback. Just what you've seen in the first half, is there anything different that the Trojans can do to pressure Buckley? Because that's one of the reasons no team has been able to throw on North Catholic this year, is that Primrose and Long have gotten to the quarterback in seconds, and they haven't had time to pick out their target and even their first target and get a good throw off. Buckley is having a lot of time to sit in the pocket and get the ball up in the air to his big wide receivers. How can North Catholic get pressure on the quarterback, Alex?
by delaying the wide receivers, in my opinion. I think you got to be able to press at the line of scrimmage. At the line of scrimmage, you got to be able to press on those wide receivers because you know they're not taller than them. You know that you don't have the size. But if you have the better physicality, you're going to win that matchup every day of the week. Because if you're more physical and you're more dominating physically against those big guys, it's going to slow them down. Because they have to get the engines going. They're big guys. They got to get the engines going downfield. You got to get the legs churning. If you stop that churning at the line of scrimmage, as talked about at the beginning of the game, whoever wins the line of scrimmage is going to win this game. North needs to do a better job of winning the line of scrimmage, not so much at the line as much as it is on the outside.
And we're starting the second half. Fennell is sprinting to the outside, and then he's met by several Keystone Oaks defenders. Good coverage from Keystone Oaks. North Catholic is going to get the ball at the 26-yard line to start the third quarter. This is a big drive, I think, Alex. If North Catholic can score a touchdown here, suddenly they're up. They've doubled Keystone Oaks' score. They're up by 17 points in 3 scores. If they don't score, and especially if they give up a turnover, right? I don't know how many of the playoff losses you've been to for North Catholic in the last couple of years, but a constant in all of those losses has been an abundance of turnovers in the second half. And I hope I'm not speaking those into being, but North Catholic needs to take care of the football. As Jack Fennell, he's got a lot of room. He's at the 40. He's at the 50. There's one man to beat, and that's
really
a great
tackle.
Great tackle.
Really good tackle. Oh, my goodness. E.J. Simon, what a tackle. But what a run by Jack Fennell.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the
Yes.
Trojans. A big, big run by Jack Fennell. He's been able to get to the outside all night. Keystone Oaks has been able to throw the ball for much, especially the second quarter. North Catholic has been able to get Jack Fennell on the outside, which if you're an opposing team, you don't want to see Jack Fennell run into the outside.
That's scary, exactly.
This time, Prentice throws it to Daniel Long.
Nice catch.
Long is going to rumble down the
Oh,
field.
what a
Nice
move.
Cutting
What a
up the
move.
middle. Gets to the 29, 28-yard line. It's going to set up a second down and 4.
How about
This is more
Daniel
like the
Long?
first drive. This is more like the first 2 drives
Yes.
that we saw in the first half. They're moving pretty quickly, good tempo, and they're calling the right plays, and they're getting them off clean.
Daniel Long has been involved in this offense today. Really a lot in the passing offense today. Just getting those nice yards when they need them.
Prentice is going to keep it. He's going to get a first down and a little bit more as he's dodging his way inside the 20-yard line to about the 17. So North Catholic in 3 plays has gone inside the 20-yard line after starting at about the 24, 25 of Keystone Oaks.
I'm going to call that a mud run. That's a dirty run there by Joey Prentice. He's not afraid to get dirty. He's not afraid to get grimy and make those big runs and get hit. He's not afraid of that. And as I said earlier in this game, when you have a quarterback like that that's fearless, that your offense, they bounce off that feeling. It's a fearless offense.
Prentice is going to throw. He's going to the end zone.
Pass interference. Where's the pass interference? Nothing.
What did you see there, Alex, that you thought was pass interference?
Maziarz was hit at the end zone line. Clearly hit before the ball was there.
Do you think it was too? I guess it wasn't too far over his head.
I don't
Because
think
it did
so.
land
That's
at the
a
back
playable ball,
of the end zone. So maybe a missed penalty there, but regardless, no penalty. Second and 10 from the 17. North Catholic knocking on the door, trying to go up by 3 total scores. Fennell's going wide again, cuts it up the middle, and gets to about the 20-yard line.
The ball came out at the end of the play. They're going to say he's down.
Yeah, I think it was pretty clear that he was down.
I think he was down too.
It's going to set up a 3rd and 8. And this is going to be 4-down territory. They're definitely going to go for it twice if they don't get a first down here. So you really have the whole playbook. You don't have to throw it on this down.
He almost got an offside.
Prentice gets the snap, and he's going to keep it. He makes the guy miss.
He's got room.
He's still looking to throw. It's Daniel Long again. Long is going to rumble into the end zone. Touchdown, North Catholic.
What a play by Daniel Long. And what a call! What a call by the offense! They got the reverse bootleg action going all the way around to the other side. He's got tons of room, tons of space. As you said, Daniel Long rumbling his way to the end zone for 6. That's good.
And it's a good kick from Marsico, and North Catholic suddenly is up 34-17.
That's big.
And as a Trojan fan, you're feeling a lot better.
I feel a lot more comfortable right now. I do.
Yeah, Daniel Long, I don't have a exhaustive stats sheet in front of me, but he's got 4 catches tonight, and
I might have more than that. He might have more than that.
I think I can remember at least 4, and that might be doubling his season total for catches or something like that. I wonder what they saw on tape. Well, I guess, or what have you seen tonight? Like, why has Daniel Long been open so much?
I think he's so big that I don't think they think of, like, at the beginning of this game, I think they're okay with the dink and dunk 3, 5, 10-yard plays. But now they're seeing him as a threat. I don't think they saw this coming. As you said on film, you haven't seen this year from Daniel Long. This has been fantastic, and he's making a big difference in this game.
And he's going to do the kickoff. He never leaves the field almost for the Trojans.
No, he never leaves the field.
Normally, I guess if you have watched a tape of North Catholic, you're going to see him as the lead blocker.
You don't think
he's
of him
a
as
ferocious lead blocker for Topinski and for Fennell.
But this year you haven't thought of him as like a pass catcher as much.
But in the drives where North Catholic offense has functioned well, he has caught a lot of passes, and that was a mistake there from Minford. That ball was going to bounce out of bounds, and Keystone Oaks would have had it on the 40, but Minford catches it and then immediately trips.
And that's exactly what Coach Aguglia was looking for. As you could hear his tone at halftime in his interview with Ryan Berry, great interview by Ryan with Coach, and you could see the anger in his tone about how they've been giving up these big returns on these kickoffs. And that's been a problem. They looked at that's exactly what they wanted right there. That was a little self-inflicted by the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, so 1st and 10, 9:30 left. Buckley, screenplay.
Really good
to
throw.
Reich. That's a great call on the screen, and it's going to be a first down for Keystone Oaks. One of the things we kept talking about was, can North Catholic get pressure? I saw that play, and I saw Primrose and Long in there jumping right on him, but then I thought, oh, that was too easy. And, of course, it was a screen pass. Great play from Keystone Oaks. On the very first play of the second half, they score a screen play, and they get a first down. We're rolling towards 9 minutes in the third quarter. Keystone Oaks now down 17, though. So they've got to respond really on this drive so that the game doesn't get out of hand, because they have had a tough time stopping North Catholic. Buckley rolling to his right. Quick throw and a catch by, I think that is going to be Minford. And on a play like that, you can't even really get pressure on the quarterback because he's rolling away from where you're rushing.
Up there after the play. It is a first down.
First down, and is that the receiver, Alex Minford?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Looks like he's cramping up a little bit on the far
Isn't
side.
It too cold to cramp? Doesn't that normally happen in the warmer weather games earlier in the season?
He's got a lot of action in it, though. He's getting warm.
Yeah, Minford has been, and I'm sure
really
if we have any Keystone Oaks people watching the broadcast tonight, I'm sure you're not surprised that Owen Minford is doing well. He plays, I think he's safety on defense for them. He's made some good tackles, and he's been really good on offense, especially towards the end of the second quarter. And now on the first drive of the second half for Keystone Oaks, he makes that first down catch, and Keystone Oaks is out around the 50-yard line. Hopefully it is just cramps, and Minford is going to be able to get back on the field quickly.
Yeah, hopefully.
With 8:47 left, pretty good showing from the student section tonight. It's hard for us to see from the booth, but I can't see the end of the student section. They're all wearing red. Is it a red out or like a red C? What is officially the theme tonight, Alex?
It's a red out for the Trojan Army, who has been very passionate all year, coming to all the games that they can, and really made a difference in a lot of games. I can still remember the Blackhawk game because I was there for that one. We were doing a broadcast for that one, and that missed field goal at the end of the game, and the whole section was full of, it was a sea of black for that game. It was a blackout for that game. A moment you can't forget too easily. That was a moment you want to remember forever.
Another screenplay to Wrights, and he's got some blockers, and it's going to be a pretty good gain for Keystone Oaks, 5 or 6 yards. North Catholic is so eager to get to Buckley. They haven't really touched him all game except for that one play that Prentice had. That they're leaving themselves a little bit vulnerable to screens, but the linebackers and the safeties has done a good job making sure those screens don't go for more than, say, 10 or 15 yards.
And Nick Buckley, the junior from Keystone, junior starting quarterback here for Keystone Oaks, best quarterback North Catholic's seen this year. And this is the best offense North Catholic has seen this year, as indicative by the score right now.
The only other team to score 17 points on the Trojans this year was Blackhawk in that game at J.C. Stone Field.
And look, you see the Trojans pressing on the wide receivers. That's why they're having to go behind the line of scrimmage here.
And another screen pass. That's 3 screens in 4 plays, and that one is a big, big play. That's going to be about a 25-yard game to Wrights. Keystone Oaks is calling a great game. And Wrights is doing a good job. Those catches aren't that easy for him to make.
No.
His quarterback is under a lot of pressure really, really quickly, and he's just got to float the ball up there. And Wrights is turning around, backpedaling, having to make some good, tough catches, and then sprint up the field. First down on the 20 for the Keystone Oaks Golden Eagles, and they're picking up right where they left off at the end of the first half. They're driving the ball down the field. 4 wide receivers is how they're doing it, but they've hit Wrights out of the backfield with screen plays. And
Look
this
out.
time it's another great.
What a
oh
catch.
No, he dropped it.
No.
He was hit by Prentice.
One guy says out, one guy says in. It's complete. They're rolling it. They're rolling it complete. One guy said incomplete, one guy said complete, and they say complete.
I mean, all I know is I saw the ball bouncing around on the sideline, but maybe they said that was after he came down out of bounds.
Oh, my.
But
that's size right there. That was a size play. Liam Straub at his back turn went right over his head. And
here is, he's rolling. He's going to throw to Minford again. It's the exact same play. You're right. Minford is using his size. He's sprinting into Straub. And he's using his size to box Straub out as he turns to the sideline. And it's going to be maybe a 3 or a 4 yard touchdown.
That's a great drive.
It is a great drive from Keystone Oaks. They score and they answer really quickly. Minford on a 3-yard touchdown catch.
I mean, I talked about physicality at the line, but you can only be so physical without getting a penalty. But at this point, you really got to start. I like when you have 4 guys out there above 6 foot, and North Catholic does not have any guys really that can match that kind of height for all those guys combined. They don't have enough. They don't have enough height, and when you're in that position, I'm not sure what you can do. I mean, it's almost indefensible in some ways because you can go across the field and it has a height difference on every matchup. That's so tough to combat, and I don't know how you combat it more than being physical at the line of scrimmage. They were physical to a point in that play. You just got to be even more physical.
Yeah, Minford did a great drive there. He wasn't necessarily using his height, but he was certainly still using his size.
His body positioning.
The body positioning. He may even have pushed off a little bit on Straub there, but oftentimes the offensive player can get away with a little bit more contact. And, I mean, if you can get away with it, why not? Minford and Buckley really did a nice job on that drive, as did Reich. So Keystone Oaks showing that last week they did it on the ground, 163 yards for Kevin Drew. This week they're doing it through the air. Minford with his 2nd touchdown catch, and Keystone Oaks is. It's a good thing for North Catholic that Drew's not playing tonight, or they have another guy that they can get the ball to. Although Reich has done a great job out of the backfield as a receiver. This time it's Fennell, and he's got speed.
Oh my goodness!
And here he goes. He makes the kicker miss. The kick. Did he slow him down enough? Jack at the 30, at the 20.
You got
10. Touchdown, Jack Fennell.
You gotta be kidding me, Mr. Sean. You gotta be kidding me. That's insane. What did I say earlier in the game? He's Flash in the flesh.
And that's the second time that Keystone Oaks has scored a touchdown and then given up a touchdown on the ensuing kickoff. That's just got to be so deflating for the Golden Eagles. They had a wonderful offensive drive, and then Jack Fennell just sprints away from everyone.
It doesn't matter who it is. Kyle, Liam, Jack, they can all do it. They can all do it. And they got it.
High snap is handled well by J.D. Butler, and Marchico's kick is good, and it's 41-24, and this game is rapidly transforming into a shootout, something we have not seen this year.
65 points.
65 points, and we still have almost 19 minutes to play in the second half. So a lot of things can still happen in this game. Although from a Trojan perspective, you want to see the defense shut the door right now.
Yes.
Keystone Oaks, you don't really want to see them get any more points. And just looking at Keystone Oaks' schedule, which we've referenced a couple times, their only two losses in AAA have been to 3-seeded Avonworth, 35-0, 1-seeded Central Valley, 42-0.
Yeah.
The seed in the middle of those teams is North Catholic at number 2.
And Avonworth is dominating tonight.
And Avonworth is dominating tonight at 49-7, I think, up against Mount Pleasant. As a fan, I haven't seen the tape, so I don't know how Avonworth and North Catholic match up. But Avonworth beat this team 35-0, and they put up 24 points on a really good Trojans defense. So Avonworth may be better than people think.
He muffs it. He's got it.
And that was Minford, who caught all those balls on the last drive, and he can't catch the kickoff. So Keystone Oaks not doing themselves any good on the kickoffs, as they've given themselves long fields, but it didn't matter on their first possession. We've had 3 scores already in the third quarter, and there's still more than half the quarter to play. And they've all been touchdowns, too.
Really remarkable production today by the Trojans offense. And as I talked about in the pregame show, that the defense has been there when the offense has had bad days. Today the offense is there when the defense is having a bad day.
Yeah, it's a great point. Buckley to the outside.
Nice play.
And there's Laconey. Clapping his hands. He's really made up for that touchdown that he gave up earlier. He's I think, adjusting to the speed of the game, getting his hand in there to break up the pass to Quinn Kenny. Maybe Keystone Oaks might want to look somewhere else than Carson Laconey, because he's played pretty well after giving up that touchdown.
He really has. And for him to come back after not playing a single game in the regular season, and for him to play like this against a really good receiving corps from Keystone Oaks, it's pretty impressive.
Buckley is going to throw it to Minford.
8.
Nice pass.
Yeah.
Gaining, like you said, Alex, gaining about 8. He threw that so low that Minford was going to be the only one who had a chance at it, and Minford went down to the ground, sliding and caught it. Buckley to Minford has been a very, very good connection for Keystone Oaks so far tonight.
That's got to be the philosophy at all times. My guy gets it or nobody does.
Just about 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. North Catholic up 41-24. Minford in a pretty short shotgun, 2-3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. This time he's going to hand it off to Reich. And Reich is pushed backwards. He's not going to get it. 4th and 1, maybe a little bit less than 1. And this is a big decision for Keystone Oaks. You're down 17 points.
And they're keeping the offense out there.
And they are. Buckley has walked to the sideline, but not to leave the field to get a play. Huge play here. 4th and 1. Keystone Oaks needs 1 yard. North Catholic is bringing in some big guys on the field. It's Andrew Stevens running on the field. And Dante Prentice is already out there. So North Catholic is going to have 4 down linemen.
Don't jump offside here either.
And they run it, and he gets the first down, and he's got a lot of room. Reich makes Prentice risk, and he bounces off other people. Laconey, can he catch him? He does. Carson Laconey saves a touchdown at about the 20-yard line. And that's the first time that Keystone Oaks tonight has won the line of scrimmage on a running play, and it couldn't have come at a better time for the Golden Eagles as they get a 45-yard run inside right at the 20-yard line.
As you said, Sean, they won the line of scrimmage.
And Reich made Prentice miss too, and
Yes.
Prentice has been great
He's been
tonight
great.
on defense.
Arguably their best player on defense.
Keystone Oaks, double tight ends, 2 receivers again. Looking,
You got the
one-on-one,
size.
Minford, and did he catch that inbounds? He did. Wow, what a throw.
I don't want to repeat myself again, but I'm going to. Where is the physicality at the line of scrimmage for these Trojans cornerbacks? Where is it? That's another example of having too much time to throw and a size differential on the outside. They can't stop him one-on-one. They cannot. That was one-on-one. No safety help there. You cannot help. You have to have help there. He got it.
And Wagner, off a bad snap, gets it up and in. And it is 41-31, and the torrid pace of scoring continues in the third quarter. If you're just tuning in, the score is not wrong. We've had 72 points, and we're not even done with the third quarter. It's 41-31 North Catholic. Keystone Oaks has had 4 passing touchdowns, and Owen Minford has caught the last 3 of them. A 9-yard touchdown with 2:45 left in the first half, a 3-yard touchdown with 7:01 in the third quarter, and right there a 20-yard touchdown with 4:25 in the third quarter. And that last one, Alex, I think especially was just a beautiful throw from Buckley.
Really was.
It dropped it in over the shoulder of Minford, who caught, he had barely any room to catch it in the corner of the end zone. I thought Maziar's had decent coverage there. Yeah. Minford just, he couldn't have placed the ball any better there. Just dropped it in over the coverage.
It's so frustrating because that's another example of the coverage being good. Like, because Straub had great coverage on the last touchdown that they had.
I think, the last one Straub may have given up the outside a little bit too easily.
But
you're right.
I think it's just the body positioning. The body positioning on these plays to the outside on the sideline is all they've been needing.
And it's almost like an onside kick. But it goes out of bounds right about the 40, which is
doesn't matter. Yeah.
It's just where they would have got it anyway. Keystone Oaks did not want to give up another touchdown. They'd rather North Catholic go about 60 yards with multiple offensive plays.
If you're the Trojans offense, just gotta keep on doing what you're doing. Gotta match what they're doing on the other side.
Yeah, the way that Keystone Oaks has gone their last 3 possessions, starting with that last possession of the first half, the Golden Eagles look unstoppable. Buckley has been a maestro at the beginning of the game. He looked like he was not placing the ball well. He threw it behind his receivers. He threw it over the head of his receivers. But starting late in the second quarter, he pinpoint accuracy from Buckley. And he's just been driving Keystone Oaks up and down the field. And North Catholic, as you said, Alex, has to respond. Let's see if they can do it. 3 receivers, Maziarz, Fennell, and Straub, and 2 people in the backfield. It's Long and Topinski. It's a pitch to Topinski on the outside. Let's see what he can do. He
really nice block
sprinting
by
around,
Fennell.
bouncing off of people. It's going to take 4, no more than 4, like 5 or 6 Keystone Oaks players to tackle him. That's somebody I would think is going to be featured a lot here as the second half goes on. Kyle Topinski is one of your most unstoppable players. Get him the ball as often as you can.
When Kyle gets going, he's a tank, and it's so tough to bring him down. It is so tough to bring him down, especially when he has a little momentum going his way. As you saw right there, if they keep that going, that's going to get tiresome for this defense. That's going to wear them down.
And if you look at the sidelines, Keystone Oaks does not have that many players. And we've called a lot of players on both sides of the football for them. So maybe they are going to get tired. It's Fennell. Does he get to the outside? No.
Nice tackle.
Yeah. Good tackle by 27, I think, Bencio DeFalco. But it's still a 4 or 5 yard gain on first down. That's a good positive gain on first down.
Yep. Good first down play.
2nd and 6 for North Catholic. That last run by Topinski, if Darren was here, he would have gotten real excited about that. That's good. He loves when it takes 5 or 6 people to tackle Kyle or Kyle stiff arms someone to the ground. And Kyle Topinski is still in the backfield. Daniel Long is to the right. We'll see if it's Topinski running behind Long again. No, it's going to be a quick throw to Fennell. Fennell is going to stutter step,
Nice
and
move.
he gets to the outside, cuts up the middle, and he's tackled from behind by number 20, DiMaggio LeConte.
How about the blocking down
Fennell
the field by the
with
lineman,
the catch.
too?
Yeah, that's
Excellent blocking.
Straub and Quinta running down the field. And North Catholic, fortunately, if you're a Trojan fan, the offense is just marching down the field, matching Keystone Oaks score for score, protecting this 10-point lead and trying to add to it.
Now he throws a flag after waiting about 5 seconds. There was some finger pointing on both sides. Then he makes the call. Like 5 seconds went by.
You don't ever want to be influenced by the players on the field if you're a referee.
Yeah.
Maybe he should have just let that go, but we'll see who the penalty is on.
It's an awful long conversation.
2:50 left to play in the third quarter. North Catholic is up 41-31. North Catholic was up 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. The scoring in the second quarter was 17-14 in favor of Keystone Oaks, so they trailed by 13 at the end of the half.
Offside, yeah.
Encroachment. One of those good 3-syllable words that football uses to describe their penalties. Football penalties have a greater vocabulary, I think, than any other sport. First and 5. Topinski is still in the backfield.
Get Maziarz again. Get him 3.
Yeah, Tyler Maziarz is going to be one-on-one, but it's Topinski up the middle.
My.
And he barrels his way inside the 10-yard line.
You gotta love that. You gotta love that play. He takes 2 people with him.
You figure if you give it to Kyle Topinski and no one can get around his ankles in the backfield, if you give him 3 tries from the 8-yard line, he's going to take it in. So I'd like to see a couple more doses of Kyle Topinski here as North Catholic is trying to get it into the end zone and for the 3rd time this quarter get a 17-point lead.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Prentice. 5 yards back in the shotgun. Topinski to his left. He's
Flip
going
it
to be
to
an
him.
option
Flip it to
play.
him.
He
You got
flips
it.
it to
You got it.
Topinski.
Flag
There's a
on the
flag, and
play.
Topinski just shoves the Keystone
Did he get
Oaks
in?
player into the ground. He's not in.
Out
He's
of
about
bounds.
the 3-yard line, but there
Yeah.
is a flag. It was in the area of holding on the offensive line, but this just another example of Topinski's power. He just shoved a Keystone Oaks player into the ground on that play to get a couple extra yards.
And that's a big holding call. Because that bumps it back 10 yards. You're back at the 18 now.
It was a 1st and goal from the 8, and now it's a 1st and goal from the 18. That's a lot harder to get a touchdown of 18 yards than 8 yards.
And the longer this drive takes up, the more this drive matters for the Trojans to get some points.
Yeah, potentially if you were inside the 10, you could have thought about a field goal.
Yeah.
But now when you're
It's
back
way
this
too
far, probably too far, so you're going to keep going for the end zone. They can still run it a couple times here if you consider this 4-down territory, and they do give it to Topinski. Running to his right, he's
There
got
he
some
goes.
room. He
What
ducks
a
around
move.
one player, and that's a really good tackle by Alex Samarin.
One arm, too.
Yeah. Most of the time, you're not going to bring Kyle down with one arm, except when you get him around when you trip him up and you can get him down low around the ankles, and that's what Samarin did there. I thought he was well blocked, but he dove and he grabbed Kyle's ankle and brought him down. Good play by Alex Samarin of Keystone Oaks. Clock is at about a minute. Topinski still in the backfield. It's going to be another option play.
Back to
Pitch
Kyle.
to Kopinski. He made a great catch.
Wait, just too late. Too late. 5 guys. 5 Golden Eagles in the area of Topinski. They know what's going on now. And
That's one of
It's
those
so
where
tough when you're that far
it's
behind.
It's
Yeah.
always hard to make the decision about to pitch
Yeah.
it or to keep it, but that's one you've talked about Prentice not being afraid to get dirty.
Yes.
That's one where if he darts upfield, he could probably get 4 or 5 yards as opposed to a couple yard loss there.
This
and
one they're
it's
gonna-
going to be 3rd and 18.
They're going to throw it here.
Yeah, you figure you've got 2 shots at the end zone, or you could throw it. This one, you could probably throw it in the flat.
Jack
Fennell has
Fennell's
a lot of room.
space. Lot of
Yeah.
space.
But they're going to sprint into the end zone. Prentice is going to throw for Topinski, and oh boy, it was behind Topinski,
Oh,
but he still had his hands on it.
And you got to take that's. There's still 8 seconds left in the quarter, and you got to go for it.
Yeah, you do have to go for it on
This
4th
is
down.
a huge play.
And you've got to
This
throw
is
it at the end
huge
zone.
Play. Trojans are 1 for 1 on 4th down in this game.
They're actually 3 for 3 on 4th down.
Basically 3 for 3, as they got 2 illegal man down field penalties.
If they had not had a first down on those 4th down plays, even if the penalty, they wouldn't have counted. Prentice is going to roll to his right. He's got to get it into the end zone. Still rolling. He's at the 20, and he's going to run for it. Prentice
No way.
He's trying to dodge around everybody. He gets
got
down to the
far. He
5
did
yard
get far.
line.
He did. That was a good play. He got 12 yards.
Now you might think that's obviously it's disappointing that North Catholic doesn't score.
But they pinned them deep. That's really deep. That's another 94-yard drive that Keystone Oaks is going to have to take.
And that's exactly the point that I wanted to bring up, and you picked up on it right away, is that Keystone Oaks now has the really long way to go.
Look at that, 0.3 left on the clock. 0.3.
Every 1/10 of a second matters when
It
you can
does.
score as fast as these teams can.
All it takes is one play.
Buckley, as always, in the shotgun, and he's going to hand it off to Reich. Reich cutting upfield. He's actually got a little bit of room, and a good gain out to about the 15-yard line. And we're going to pick it up with a 2nd and 2 when we head to the 4th quarter. North Catholic protecting a 10-point lead in a really, really good football game here in the WPIAL quarterfinals. In between the 3rd and the 4th quarters, we're going to go down to the field where Ryan Barry is going to give us an update about some other North Catholic sports teams that are having great fall sport seasons.
The PIAA playoffs continue tomorrow for both the boys and girls soccer teams and the girls volleyball teams. After the victories on Tuesday night in the first round, all 3 teams will be in action Saturday. The girls soccer team takes on Villa Maria at Neshannock High School starting at noon. Girls volleyball matches up with Bedford at Hempfield High School also at noon. And the boys soccer team takes on rival Ambridge at North Allegheny High School at 4 o'clock. Tickets for all games can be purchased online in advance through the PIAA website.
All right, thank you, Ryan, for giving us those updates about North Catholic sports. I'm sure that you can watch a lot of those games on the North Catholic website. But if you don't have anything to do on a Saturday,
Trib. It'd be more on the Trib or PIAA.
the Trib, okay,
too.
the Trib website or the PIAA. Or if you don't have anything to do on a Saturday, you want to go out and support your Trojans. Those are 3 great teams to watch. Boys and girls soccer both lost in the WPIAL finals last week, and girls volleyball won 3-1 against Avonworth, and they are a 2-time defending WPIAL champion now. Last year, I think they lost in the state quarterfinals or semifinals. They're looking to go further this year. Girls volleyball team is really fun to watch. I announced some of their games as well, and they've always been fun to watch for me. Keystone Oaks, and getting back to this football game, we're starting the 4th quarter. North Catholic up by 10. How would you evaluate that 3rd quarter, Alex?
A shootout. I mean, after all that, we still have the same deficit. We still have a 10-point game. 10-point Trojan lead. Another run. That's good enough for a first.
Yeah, there's 4 touchdowns in that 3rd quarter, 2 for each team, and that's why we still have the 10-point lead that North Catholic had at halftime. North Catholic was up 27-17 at halftime. It's now 41-31. And the biggest plays of the game to me right now are those 2 touchdown returns on the kickoffs. Jack Fennell about 75 yards and Kyle Topinski close to 90 yards. Without those touchdowns, North Catholic may be behind in this game.
Absolutely.
Keystone Oaks, 2 tight ends in there, but they're going to throw. It's a quick pass, and it's right to Minford.
Really good tackle. Really good wrap-up tackle.
Tyler Maziarz.
Tyler Maziarz. Really good play.
It's going to be only a 2 or 3 yard gain. Just based on what Keystone Oaks has done, I feel like you have to find Minford whenever he lines up, and you've got to have somebody pressing him, as you've said.
Yes.
Make it hard for him to get off the line of scrimmage, and then you got to have a safety behind him in case he goes deep. I would not let Minford. You can't let Minford.
He's got to be double covered. He's got to be double covered. You can't. He's not a one-man job right now.
But it's hard to double cover people.
It is.
When they have 4 wide receivers. Although Gavin Camedy is over there, and Tyler Maziarz, it looks like, is covering him. Buckley is looking the other way. It's a throw out to Wrights, and that was a great cut he made to get past Kyle Topinski and gain a few yards. And this sets up a manageable 3rd down for Keystone Oaks. And still, I don't think that Keystone Oaks has given up a sack, which is incredible for the amount of times that they've thrown the ball that they have not given up a sack.
It's their ability to get the ball out quickly. And their pass protection has been very good. But they've also been able to get the ball out very quickly. Because of that, not a lot of pressure at the line of scrimmage, and they've been able to get the running back out to get those plays. Down the, you might start from behind the line of scrimmage, but they get up the field for some first downs that we've seen throughout this half.
This is a big play. 3rd and 5. This is not an area of the field where Keystone Oaks is going to go for it on 4th down. So the Trojan defense needs to make a stand here. I think Minford is on the near side of the field to us. That's what he wanted to do. Buckley throws it over the middle, and it's caught. And he's going to get a lot of
Joey's got him.
Into the 32-yard line. That was Alex Samarin. What a play from Buckley. You could see, we could kind of see his eyes from up here looking over towards Minford. Minford was covered. He started moving up in the pocket. He saw Samarin open over the middle, threw a dart right to him. He was not tackled right away, got another good 15 or 16 yards out of it, and a huge, huge play by Keystone Oaks there.
Roughing the passer on North.
And that's going to even tack on more yardage to that play.
Might be frustration a little bit. Because they've been so close to sacking him in this game, so close. Half a second, full second off of being able to get contact on Buckley. That could have really messed up a lot of these plays. But it's the half seconds and it's the inches that make up a football game. It really is.
Buckley is getting handed off this time. It's to Drew. And there he barrels forward for 4 or 5 yards. That is Kevin Drew, who's had a real heroic game tonight. He's clearly been injured. And you can even tell right now that he's limping and hopping around a little bit. He really wants to stay in the game.
He wants to stay in.
Yeah, you really love to see people who are that dedicated. And that's
he's running on adrenaline right now.
Yeah. That's the coach, like, can you give me a play? Because Reich has done a wonderful job at running back.
He really has.
And maybe he needed a breather there. And Drew gave him some positive yardage. 3-4 yards, that's a good gain on 1st down. And it's Reich.
Flag on the play there.
Reich gets about 2 or 3 yards. There is a flag. Let's see what this is.
Might be on North. I bet you it is. Came from the umpire. Long conversation here with you.
Yeah, we've seen this a couple other times. The last long conversation resulted in an encroachment. I don't think that's what it would be here.
And North Catholic defense moving back a bit.
And they call it a chop block. And you can see Keystone Oaks is getting excited as they're just moving the ball almost at will. We just have not seen this year. North Catholic has had 6 shutouts this season, but certainly they're nowhere close to a shutout now, giving up 31 points already in this game, and Keystone Oaks trying to get this game to within 3 points if they can score a touchdown here.
I'm not feeling too good about this one right now. I'm not feeling too good.
This is the area where they've really gone to Minford, and Minford is split out wide right, and Maziarz.
One guy's not covered on the outside. They got to get a guy over there. Now they look to him. Oh, my goodness.
And they threw
Gavin
it too high.
wasn't there. He wasn't there at the line of scrimmage. He got there at the end, but a little overthrown. Wow.
Yeah, a little bit more touch on that ball, leading him a little bit into the court of the end zone. Maybe a touchdown for Keystone Oaks. My attention was over here on Minford. Since they're so close, you got to have people in the middle, so it's going to be hard to double people. And Minford is out wide against Maziarz. Minford has really just ran to the corner and boxed out. Let's see if Buckley looks for him.
Oh, there goes the pressure.
And there's almost a screenplay to Reich, and Buckley is buried. I couldn't see who got the big hit. Robbie Kress.
Big hit.
And Buckley, though he hasn't been sacked, he's taken some big hits
tonight.
He has,
because just after he gets that ball out.
3rd and 6. Here's another major play, and Keystone Oaks on the 4th down on their first drive had a 40-some yard run. On a 3rd down on this drive, had a 40-some yard pass. So they've been really good on key 3rd and 4th down so far in the second half. Here's another one. If they don't get this one, they've got a good kicker.
They do. They can make it kick. They can make this kick.
Yeah, I would think they would kick it and just get it within a touchdown. So North Catholic can escape giving up only 3 points if they stop him right here. Buckley fakes to Drew.
Has somebody coming at him.
He's throwing to Samarin, and
it's just
Samarin
half a
is
second.
into the end zone.
It's the same thing. Half a second there. He's right now. He got hit half a second after he got rid of the ball. Oh my goodness!
And
it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, they just can't get to Buckley on time. He's getting rid of the ball just at the exact moment he needs to before he is buried under a North Catholic pass rush. Wonderful, wonderful game so far from Nick Buckley. 8:12 left in the 4th quarter. This is to make it 41-38. Greg Wagner trying to get it within a field goal.
Point here.
And it's good right down the middle of the uprights. That was Samarin, a 6-yard touchdown pass from Buckley, and he's the 3rd receiver to get a touchdown pass. Buckley has 5 touchdown passes in this game. That's a pretty incredible statistic.
That's incredible.
41-38. You've mentioned it a couple times. A lot of this year, it's been the defense bailing out the offense.
Yeah.
Offense needs to bail out the defense right now. If you ever needed the touchdown, it's on this drive. You don't want to. The way that the last half has gone, you don't want to give Keystone Oaks the ball.
You can't.
Where they could score a touchdown and take the lead. You can't do it. So the North Catholic offense needs to do well here.
But it's been the same things all game on defense. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something different. It's insanity.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to get to Buckley. He's been able to get the ball out quick. His receivers have gotten open quick, more importantly. And here's a squib kick, and Keystone Oaks is going to fall
you
on
gotta
the
be
ball.
kidding me.
Clinton Robinson is able to recover the onside kick. One of the best high school football games I ever saw. I went to Hampton High School 15 years ago, 2006, when I was a freshman in high school. Hampton went out to Keystone Oaks, and they won the game by scoring 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes. And the second one was after a recovered onside kick. And this game has reminded me a little bit of that one in terms of how close and back and forth it is, and a lot of drama with a recovered onside kick.
I don't think I just don't see how they could have overlooked this game. I feel like this is overlooking them. I feel like they're looking over them in this game, because there's no way that they would come into this game with this kind of. They didn't have this outlook. I talked to the players throughout the day. They didn't have this outlook.
Here's another screen to Reich, and this time Prentice with a big tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Good play from Prentice, and they finally sniffed out a screen. Dante Prentice.
Good tackle.
I wonder if Keystone Oaks hasn't shown this type of spread offense for much of the season. Because, again, if you look at their stats from last week.
The running game.
20 carries for 163 yards for Kevin Drew. He's clearly hurt tonight. They've had to go away from him. They hadn't have success just running the ball up the middle with Reich, so they've had to pass it. Maybe this just is something.
He had 2 touchdowns last week, right?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns?
Yeah. Maybe this is just something that North wasn't prepared for.
It doesn't look like it at all.
It's going to be a pass way up high,
He
too
almost
high.
caught that one.
And this brings up again, Alex, a third down.
Third down.
Keystone Oaks has now won the past 3 or 4 key third and fourth downs.
This is a longer third down, though. 3rd and 14 for this one.
3rd and 14, which means you're going to have to sit back there a little bit longer than normal. So maybe this is the play where the North Catholic pass rush gets home. Tyler Primrose and Daniel Long. This is the quietest I've seen Daniel Long on defense in a long, long time.
But the loudest on offense.
Yeah.
He's a really good
And here we go. North Catholic is going to have a 3-man rush. They don't get there. Buckley,
First
that's
down.
a bullet over the middle from
It's a
Buckley
first down.
to Samarin. As Buckley, I haven't seen Keystone Oaks. I don't know much
This is
about their team.
This is remarkable.
But that was an incredible throw. He looked like a baseball pitcher there.
This guy's only a
zipping
junior.
the ball in there.
This guy's only a junior.
What a throw, and right at the first down marker, too. Like, that's something you see in college and the NFL. Like, you're just running right to the sticks and getting the exact amount of yardage. And Keystone Oaks, another first down. They're inside North Catholic territory, going deep, and it is broken up. And guess who?
Excellent positioning on defense.
Laconey. he's been the best
Tremendous.
the best corner tonight, I would say. And he was, again, matched up against Kenny. He has gotten the better of Kenny ever since that touchdown in the beginning of the second quarter.
As you said earlier in this game, he's adjusted to the speed of this game. And they couldn't have had him come back in a better week because they needed him out there.
Yeah.
They really have.
Yeah, they have needed him because Keystone Oaks is putting 4 good wide receivers on the field every single play. It is Buckley looking to his left. He's got time to throw.
Tipped. Big tip.
And there was some confusion there as to who should be where on the field, I think, between Kenny and Robinson. Kenny and Robinson were in the same area, and that's why a North Catholic player was able to get a hand on that ball.
Third down. Again, where the Golden Eagles have thrived this entire game.
You know, you've got 2 downs here if you're Keystone Oaks.
You gotta
do
go.
you?
You go for it here.
You probably
Go for it
can
here.
go for it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see their favorite screenplay because you know you've got 2 plays.
What a
knocked
play!
down by Primrose.
Tyler Primrose. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time situations. Tyler Primrose.
You're certainly right, Alex. Primrose, instead of just blindly rushing the passer, I think he saw that there was a wide receiver screen, got big and knocked the ball down. And 4th down now. Can the Trojan defense, they haven't played well tonight.
No, they haven't.
You've got to get one play. It's got to be right here if you're North Catholic. And Keystone Oaks, they've thrived in this situation. They got a lot of people that they can throw the ball to. It was Samarin the last time. Let's see who they target on this play.
4th and 10. You got a guy up the middle.
And it's tossed over the middle to
You gotta be kidding
Samarin
me,
again.
You gotta be kidding me. That's insane. Nick Buckley. The legend lives on.
That one looks like it hurt him a little bit. He got walloped
Oh
by
my
Daniel
goodness.
Long on that play. Long.
But how about that? Half a second late.
Long came unblocked up the middle, buried Buckley into the turf. Buckley just
This is unbelievable.
lobbed it
Oh my
over the
gosh.
middle, and Samarin was right there, mostly uncovered over the middle. The drive continues,
Buckley has
25-yard line.
I don't know how many passing yards Buckley has, but it's way over 250, I would have to imagine.
Yeah.
Big tackle.
Daniel Long is
Daniel
waking
Long,
up, I think.
Waking up. The sleeping giant has awoke.
2nd and 13 now. And this is a long drive from Keystone Oaks. They got
good drive.
an onside kick, and they've really only gone 30 or 40 yards. That onside kick was at 8:12 of this game, and they're getting, this is almost a 3-minute drive now. We're getting close to the end of the 4th quarter. You need to make a stand here. You can't let Keystone Oaks score.
Yep.
You can see we can hear the Trojan fans getting excited on this side. Everybody's stomping their feet, and it's not just to stay warm; it's to make some noise. Buckley's got 2 wide receivers.
Timeout.
And it's going to be a timeout to Keystone Oaks, I believe.
Yep. It might be cold outside, but these offenses are red hot.
Yeah, this is not the game that I was expecting.
No,
41
not at
to
all.
38. Maybe we were expecting North Catholic to
But
get this many
79
points.
points?
Yeah.
Oh my
79
goodness.
points in this game.
It's been a great game. It's been exhilarating up here in the booth.
Yeah, this has been a wonderful game. Obviously, I would like North Catholic to be up by a little more, but as a football fan in general, you couldn't ask for anything
not at
more.
all.
This has been a wonderful game with just a couple real heroic performances from Keystone Oaks. Obviously, Nick Buckley has 5 touchdown passes, 3 to Owen Minford, 1 to Alex Samarin, and 1 to Quinn Kenny. And he hasn't been sacked, but he's been pressured. He's been buried into the ground. He keeps getting up, and he keeps flinging the ball away at the exact last second that he can, and he keeps completing those passes. Nick Buckley has been tremendous. And then also Kevin Drew, who maybe we thought would be the star of the offense for Keystone Oaks coming in. He's clearly been really bothered by an ankle injury, and yet he's gone on the field multiple times and given his coach plays. So Keystone Oaks is playing a whale of a game tonight and pushing the number 2 seeded Trojans. So kudos to them. But they're still going. It's another screenplay. And number 41, going to be like a fullback. He's not even on my roster. He's not even on my roster. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
A big player from Keystone Oaks rumbling down the field.
He might be hurt after the play.
And you're right. On the sideline, that might be the pass catcher, number 41 for the Golden Eagles.
What a
this
play,
is
though.
3rd and 5. What can you – so this is a bunch of times the screen has got North Catholic. Is there anything you're seeing that the Trojans could do better to defend that screenplay?
Maybe have a spy. Maybe a spy in the play. But then that also takes a guy away from the wide receivers on the outside. But I think you got to be prepared for anything on the ground in this one. But like those screen passes really been the silent killers for this Trojans defense, because it gets them those 5 yards, maybe gets them a first down at times. That's been the difference in a lot of these drives.
The Avonworth score has just gone final. Avonworth 49, Mount Pleasant 7. 49-7 for Avonworth.
That's it.
And Elizabeth Ford has beaten Freeport. And I'm assuming that Central Valley will also win their game. They've been a powerhouse in AAA. So the 1 seed, the 3 seed, the 4 seed, all moving on. It's up to the 2 seed Trojans to make it a chalk Final Four.
Yeah, you don't want to get
AAA.
upset here. You don't want to get upset here. No way.
Elizabeth Ford only 14-6 against Freeport. So a good battle from the second place team in the Allegheny 7 Conference, the Freeport Yellow Jackets. But Freeport falls. And North
It's been
Catholic,
a long night, though. We got out here a little after 9 o'clock on some of these matchups. It's 9:36.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely the longest game of the year, but I'm not complaining. This is a wonderful, wonderful football game. And you just hope as a North Catholic fan that the Trojans can come out on top, but it's been shaky for their defense here. They've only given up 5.6 points per game heading into this matchup, and yet they've given up 38 points to Keystone Oaks, and a lot of that is
Timeout, North
Nick
Catholic.
Buckley.
Timeout, North Catholic.
I'm not sure what happened there. They had a lot of time to prepare for that. Must not like the look.
Yeah, I think that was maybe coming all the way from upstairs at the second floor of the press booths. We could hear
We heard some yelling. Yep.
and some stamping in the press booth here. And North Catholic's coordinators, I think, are upstairs. And you can just there's been a lot of noise in the booth in the second half. Everybody is emotions are getting high as this game is getting into crunch time. And what looked like in the first quarter it was going to be another runaway North Catholic win has now turned into a nail-biter. And this is something the Steelers have done in recent weeks.
Oh, the Steelers are great at this.
Steelers are great at their Sunday and Monday night games.
Underneath the lights, they're great at giving up leads. They love the TV. They like like those close games at the end.
I've gone to sleep at halftime of the Seahawks game and at the end of the
In the Bears game.
and
you
in
said,
the middle of
like,
the third quarter,
yeah,
and when they were up by 14 against the Bears, and then you come back. If you
29-27 at
if
the
you
end.
left us at 34-17 in the third quarter after North Catholic marched easily down the field, you're probably wondering what in the world has happened in the second half.
Shame on you for leaving at that point.
I'm sure no one left.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah.
But it's been Keystone Oaks' offense, really. They've been totally unstoppable on offense. And then an onside kick that wasn't even really an onside kick, I don't think. Buckley throwing off the receiver's hands. They don't convert on third down.
Buckley hit again.
How big of a leg does their kicker have? They've got the ball on the 20-yard line. Does he have a 36, 37-yard field goal in him?
And they're gonna do it. Wow. Wow. They're gonna kick it. About 37 yards to tie it.
Thanks for taking over there, Alex. I had to kill a wasp that was flying in the booth.
There's another one.
No, that's a fly.
The fly.
37-yard attempt. Snap, good. Kick up. Doesn't have enough.
Good.
It does.
Oh
It
my
is
goodness gracious.
through the uprights.
What?
Wagner is mobbed. 37-yard field goal. That's a heck of a kick
Wow.
from a high schooler, and we have a tie game with 5:03
How about the
left.
pressure on that play, too? How about the pressure and the execution by Wagner? Sensational. Now the Trojans, with 5:03 left to go, got to put it away on offense.
First thing, though, get the ball.
Oh, that's true. They're not going to want to kick it down the field.
They're going to onside.
Yeah.
Central Valley, we just heard, won 41-0. So this is the only AAA game tonight that has yet to finish. It could be a while. We're tied at 41 all. I don't know if I've seen an overtime game since I've been announcing at North Catholic, and I don't really want to. I'd like the Trojans to score on this drive and ice the game out. But it is 41-41 with 5:03 left. You got to have some people with hands out there right now if you're North Catholic. Because you know Keystone Oaks isn't going to kick the ball down the field. They're just going to squib it. North Catholic only has 5 people up front. So somebody's got to fall on this ball.
There's another guy comes out off the sideline.
He came off the field pretty late. Well, I'm glad North Catholic has the proper amount of players on the field. And let's see what happens. And they squib it up the middle. And it's just bouncing.
Take your time. Yep.
It's going to be Liam Straub.
Nice
He's
move.
dodging around. Is he going to reverse field? No.
Keep
he's
the
just
ball,
gonna
keep
be-
the ball, keep the ball. Keep the ball. He has it. Oh, my goodness. 6 guys around him. What a job by Liam Straub to hold on to that ball. Oh, my goodness.
This is just this feels like a lot of other playoff games that North Catholic has been in, where something that should be easy, receiving the kickoff, suddenly feels like it's really hard. But this is where it's been easy for the Trojans. Maybe not easy, but this is where it looks good when they've had the ball on offense. They've done really well, marching it down the field, except for that one fumble. Let's hope we see what it's been from the North Catholic offense, except that fumble tonight. 3 wide receivers,
Let's get
long in
center
motion.
here.
And we're pointing at North Catholic is Keystone Oaks, saying it's a false start. Let's see if the referees agree, and it looks like they do. And this is not the way you wanted to start the drive for the Trojans.
6
Suddenly
penalties.
it's a 1st and 15. 6 penalties on the offensive
on the
line. You're
offensive
right,
line.
Alex.
Man.
41-41. The only 10 points of the fourth quarter have been scored by Keystone Oaks.
Let's get a tone setter here.
Prentice throws it to Long.
Let's go here.
And what a block from
by
Maziarz.
How about that for a tone setter? And he runs over a guy at the end. You got to love it from Daniel Long.
And that is a play that has been open for them all night. And really that play was also made by Tyler Maziarz. That
What
was
a
a beautiful block.
That's his second big block in this game.
And Maziarz has done a great job blocking really all year
Really? Yeah.
on wide receiver screens to Topinski, and this time to Long, just coming out from his tight end position. Keystone Oaks clearly not really seeing him as a threat. He's had 5 or 6 catches tonight, and he's been really wonderful. He's got 1 touchdown as well, 17-yard touchdown.
Another running play.
Prentice, and this time he doesn't.
the ball.
He keeps the ball. He doesn't pitch it late. Good decision from Prentice. Take the 2 or 3 yard gain. Don't risk the 2 or 3 yard gain for maybe a fumble, a risky play. Take the 2 or 3 yard gain. Keep your offense on the field. 2nd and 7 is good.
At a certain point, I think in this drive, you're going to have to sit back in the pocket and make a big throw. Might be this play right here, 5 wide. You're 2 for 2, Mr. Milan.
Yeah, that was a fly I just killed in
fly.
addition to the wasp earlier. This is the throw to Fennell in the slot. And he's tackled very quickly. Now it's time for North Catholic to make a big 3rd down conversion. This is the area of the field you're probably not going to go for it on 4th down.
No.
So if you want to take a lead without giving Keystone Oaks a chance to take the lead, you got to make it here. Who do you go to on this play? What do you think?
Kyle
Topinski is in the slot. He's closest to the offensive line on the left-hand slide. North Catholic
looking
is
back at the sideline.
looking to the sideline for a play. Prentice keeps it. He's going to run for it, and he's got the edge. Prentice is going to get the first down and gets out of bounds at about the 50-yard line.
Play.
He's tackled by Minford, but not until he gets the first down.
And he could have ran out of bounds and gotten the first down, but he got that extra couple yards and got the hit. He got the contact on that play. That's what you got to love from Joey Prentice. Fearless competitor.
3:21 now in the 4th quarter. With the amount of space that North Catholic has on the field here, 52 yards. If they score a touchdown in this drive, you figure they're going to take it under 2 minutes, maybe even under 1 minute.
There's Kyle.
Out to Topinski. This is the guy you want with the ball. And Topinski's trying to break some tackles, struggling on the sideline. You can't tackle Kyle Topinski.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
He's got about 8 yards. I just keep going back to Topinski or let Prentice run it. Those are your senior leaders on offense. I would trust them with the ball in their hands very much at this moment. It is 2nd and 2, 3:11 left. Clock is stopped because Topinski ran out of bounds. He almost broke away from everybody again there. He's so hard to tackle.
That's incredible.
Prentice. Screen play to Fennell.
Fennell.
Fennell's got a first down, and he's inside the 40 to the 39.
Inbounds, too. That clock's going to continue to run.
Timeout situation. Keystone Oaks has 2. North Catholic has 2. It is the 4th quarter, right, Alex?
It is the first.
It says 3rd quarter up on the scoreboard. This has
is.
been a long game, but I think it's the 4th quarter.
I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted from watching this game. Can't imagine what the players are feeling.
Yeah, and a lot of the players on both teams are playing both ways.
Yes.
Prentice, quickly to
Kyle
Topinski.
again.
Can he make somebody miss?
Oh,
He makes
move.
the first guy miss. He darts up the middle. He's in the open field. Topinski is in the end zone. Kyle Topinski with a 39-yard touchdown catch and run.
The human tank, Kyle Topinski. You got to be kidding me.
You just asked if
Oh
people are
my
tired.
goodness.
You know who's not
He's
tired.
not tired.
He's not tired.
He's not tired. Oh my goodness.
Big extra point because you know Keystone Oaks is going to make theirs if they score a touchdown. And Marsico's extra point is true.
Wow.
North Catholic up 48 to 41.
Lots of time left on the clock. Lots of time left on the clock.
I have run out of space on my score sheet though,
Yeah,
so I am declaring that the last score of the game. North Catholic is up 48 to 41. 48 to 41. What a wild game.
Topinski, that's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. And he worked he worked so hard in the offseason to get those legs going, to get that speed that we just saw, that burst in track. As I said, made to states in the 4x100 relay. That's how fast he is. They have the best time in the state going into states on the 4x1.
I'm not surprised he got a first down. I can't believe he scored a touchdown on that play. There was 4 Keystone Oaks defenders that were totally unblocked after he caught that ball. He made a quick dart to his right to make the first one miss, and then just sprinted up the middle, and nobody wanted to get in front of him. And he was almost untouched into the end zone after he made that first guy miss.
But that's where that track comes into play, that endurance. That endurance. I mean, so late in the game. He's been out there for almost every play on both offense and defense. And he still has the gas left in the tank to be able to do that.
And also, just looking at the bench, a lot of people giving Tyler Maziar's fist bumps. He had a lot of great blocks on that drive. It's a squib kick, and it's fielded by Keystone Oaks. And fumble!
Who has it?
Does North Catholic jump on the ball? It looks like they do! The Trojans have the ball! It's Gavin Cavity with the fumble recovery! Wow!
Oh my goodness!
And
could you be any more sick to your stomach if you're that on Keystone Oaks' sideline? That's a crusher. But what a play by a battered North Catholic special teams that has been tossed around this entire game.
Yeah,
they've not been great, especially on the returns. But oh my goodness, could you have had a better play at a better time?
Yeah, this is my 5th year watching North Catholic in the playoffs. And I can tell you in the first 4 years, the games that they've lost, that's a play that happens to them.
Yes.
They fumble the ball there. This is the first time where, like, at a close game like this, they've made the key play to take the ball away from the other team, and they hand it right back to Kyle Topinski, and you can't tackle him. Kyle Topinski pulling everyone forward for 8 or 9 yards.
Call the SWAT team if you're Keystone Oaks. You can't bring this man down.
And I think Keystone Oaks, you don't want to be tackling Kyle Topinski late in the 4th quarter with 2 minutes left.
He was stepping over guys. He was walking with a guy on his back.
How can you give it to anybody else but Kyle again
you
here?
You can't.
It's 2nd and 2, under 2 minutes left. Let that clock go down as low as you can before you snap the ball. Hand it off to Topinski. He cuts it up the middle. This time a much better job getting around his legs immediately and then bringing him down up high too. And that was Reich. And he's been great on defense all night for Keystone Oaks.
That's a timeout, Keystone Oaks.
Third and 3. 1:36 left. If North Catholic gets a first down, they can run out the clock.
Yes.
You have 3 yards to get, and you're going to go for it on 4th down. So for Keystone Oaks, it's can you stop Kyle Topinski from getting 3 yards if he gets to carry the ball twice? And I don't think they can.
I don't think so either.
As great as a lot of their players have given forth an effort tonight, on offense, they've been wonderful. Their defense really hasn't been as bad as the score has indicated. North Catholic has 14 of those points on kickoff returns, and that's not a fault at all of the defense. But they, in the second half, have not been able to stop Kyle Topinski. I like Kyle Topinski getting the ball twice and getting 3 yards.
Yeah.
Give Kyle the ball. Let him run behind Daniel Long.
Yeah, exactly.
Get Kyle a head start. You're not going to stop the combination of Long.
Make it simple. Make it simple.
And I think this might be what they're doing. North Catholic has 2 tight ends in. Long is in the backfield right next to Prentice, and Topinski is right behind Prentice. Here's the snap. It's give to Topinski. He's darting forward, and he's dragging people past the first down marker.
Goodness.
First down.
That does it.
Kyle Topinski pulling people with him and pulling the Trojans into the second round.
That's it. Kyle Topinski. Oh, my goodness.
And this is another thing. It's great to see as a North Catholic fan. This is a situation where in the past couple of years they don't get that first down. against South Park at J.C. Stone Field, they had chances to win the game, and on a third down play like that, they fumbled the ball, and South Park went 60 yards on the next play and scored a touchdown. Here, they get the first down, and now it's a 1st and goal.
Is that play not a metaphor for the game? It's like the Golden Eagles on that play were like the North Catholic defense pulling the North Catholic offense back. But the North Catholic offense literally dragged. I don't know why they're running a play here. Why would you run a play there?
I guess, yeah, I don't know. Keystone Oaks does
And now
have
they
a
have a
timeout.
player.
Joey Prentice is
Oh
kneeling on
my
the ground,
gosh.
unfortunately. You don't need
Oh,
him.
that's
You don't need
horrible.
him in this week.
That's horrible.
But you certainly need him next week. I didn't see what happened. And we're going to take a timeout here.
But as I was
with
saying,
41 seconds left.
The North Catholic offense has really dragged this team to victory today. Dragged them.
And I'm really glad that Keystone Oaks didn't get the football to try to tie the game, because the North Catholic has only stopped them once in the second half, and that was even then they got a 37-yard field goal from Wagner. How about that kick from Wagner? You almost forget about it.
Oh, it was a
after
phenomenal kick.
Tupinski's heroics.
Let's hear it for Joey Prentice, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't
wonder,
like that. I don't like how that looks.
I wonder. That looks like he's re-injured, maybe the same ankle.
He can't
that's
put
been
any weight on
bothering
it.
him.
Oh my gosh. Whew. And correct me if I'm wrong there. Why can't they take a knee there?
I don't know.
Why can't you take a knee?
Tupinski may have stepped on his ankle. There was nobody who was near him, so I don't know how else he would have gotten hurt, unless he just planted weird after handing off the football. Hopefully he will be fine for next week. But now Jason Sickett is in the game to kneel the ball down. Keystone Oaks presumably is going to take their last time out, or are they just going to let it go? Nope, they're just going to let it go. They know it doesn't matter. And North Catholic.
And let's give Keystone
escapes.
Oaks credit. What a game played by Keystone Oaks. And what a game by Nick Buckley. Phenomenal game. That was phenomenal. And what an end to this game. And the North Catholic Trojans are going dancing in the semis.
With how good the North Catholic defense was this year, I thought this was the year where I was going to have an easy slide into the semifinals, kind of like last year. But Keystone Oaks said, no way, not today. Nick Buckley was fantastic.
It can never be
5
easy,
touchdown
can it?
passes.
It can never be easy.
It was kind of easy against Mount Pleasant last year in the quarterfinals, but certainly not easy here. Keystone Oaks puts up a valiant effort. They lose 48-41. There's so much that happened in this game. We'll try to recap the scoring real quick. North Catholic up 14-0 at the end of the fourth quarter. They were up 14-0 at the end of the fourth quarter. It looked like it was going to be a blowout from there. Keystone Oaks started to click in the second quarter. It was 27-17 at halftime, and that's with a Kyle Tupinski 90-yard touchdown return. In the third quarter, things really got wild. North Catholic started the scoring with a Daniel Long 17-yard touchdown catch. Then Minford had his second of 3 touchdown catches to make it 34-24. Then another touchdown return from Jack Fennell. We forgot about that one almost, to make it 41-24. And then Keystone Oaks marched right down the field to make it 41-31 with a Minford 20-yard touchdown. And Keystone Oaks, after they stopped North Catholic, made it 41-38. Recovered an onside kick. Marched it down the field, tied the game up at 41, and then Kyle Tupinski ran through everybody and ran into the second round. And North Catholic fights on. Keystone Oaks ends their season at 6-6, but they are a really good team, and everybody on that team should be proud of how they played tonight. They were really, really good.
And Joey Prentice does look okay as he's limping over. He's able to put a little more weight on it.
And now we're going to go down to the field to hear from one of the heroes of tonight's game, Tyler Maziarz. He's with Ryan Berry.
I'm down on the field with Tyler Maziarz after North Catholic's win over Keystone Oaks in the quarterfinals of the WPIAL playoffs. Tyler, you guys got off to a slow start. How are you guys able to gain some momentum and get back into the game?
It was just because we all worked as a team. We were working 11 as one, playing for the person next to us. You just got to play for the people around you, and that's how you get your momentum.
Tyler, how awesome is it to get 2 touchdown catches in the WPIAL quarterfinals?
It was a great time. I had a lot of fun doing that, but it was no me. It was great passing by my quarterback and great protection by my lineman.
How big momentum-wise were those 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns?
Oh, out of this world. More than we ever needed them. They were key to this win. Definitely key.
You guys faced a lot of adversity in this game. What does that show about the character of the team you guys are able to come back and get this win?
It's just because we all care about each other. This isn't just a football team. This is more of a family. We love each other like brothers, and you can't do that to your brother. You just play for them.
Thank you for your time. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you, guys.
And thanks for that interview, Tyler and Ryan. North Catholic, again, wins 48-41. They will play next week against Avonworth at a site and time to be determined. We do not know if we're going to be covering that game here at the NCSN Sports Network in our partnership with the Trib Live Sports Network. Sometimes they bring in the real professionals for those semifinal games. Former Pirates PA announcer Lanny Fratteri did the semifinal game last year here, and I was kind of in awe of Lanny, and he was wonderful. Yeah. If this is our last broadcast, it really has been wonderful. Working with, it's nice. It's great to have some students on the team this year. Alex, you and Ryan have done a wonderful job with the pregame show, and thanks for stepping in for Jaron tonight, coming up and joining me in the booth. I hope we were excited enough for Jaron, if he's listening, on those Topinski touchdowns. I know he loves Kyle, so I hope we mimicked his excitement. But it really has been a great year here at the NCSN Sports Network. Give us some final words on this game, Alex, before we wrap up.
Well, I love what Tyler just said there at the end. This is not just a football team, he said. This is a family. And that epitomizes this season for the Trojans. They care about each other, they feed off each other, and they win because of each other. This is a team at its core, and this is not a one-person team, not one-person shows. We saw it throughout this entire game. It's not a one-man show. This is a team effort, a team win, and hopefully we get to see a team championship back at North Catholic.
Yeah, I can't really put it any better than that. So please tune in next week, wherever the broadcast is, to watch North Catholic play Avonworth in the WPIAL semifinals and see if the Trojans can finally get to that championship game that has been eluding them. And so from all of us here at the NCSN Sports Broadcasting family, this is Sean Malone for Alex Brown, Ryan Barry, cameraman Noah McFadden, and Patrick Sharp. And, of course, lots of thanks to John Hoffman as well for running this whole thing. Signing off. Have a great night, everybody, and I really hope you enjoyed this game because it was a wonderful one.
This game and the stream broadcast rights to this game are the sole and exclusive property of the WPIAL. Any broadcast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of the North Catholic Sports Network audience. Any use, rebroadcast, or distribution of this broadcast without the express written consent of the WPIAL is prohibited.